My child, stop for a moment, because this is not a message you were meant to hear casually. I need you to listen with your whole heart, because what I am about to say is not random, and it is not late. If you found this now, then you need to stay, because I am about to speak to the part of you that has been carrying too much in silence, and I will not let you leave this unchanged. Do not skip ahead. Do not let distraction steal what your soul has been desperate to hear. Stay with me until the very end, because there is something you need to release, something you need to hear, and something I need you to respond to before this is over. If you walk away too soon, you may miss the very word that was sent to pull you back from the edge. My child, I need you to stay with me for this moment, because I am not speaking to you by accident, and I am not stepping into your day without purpose. I know how quickly your mind moves. I know how often you keep going even when your heart is asking for rest. I know how easily you tell yourself that you can deal with the heaviness later, that you can sort through the ache when life gets quieter, that you can push through one more day and maybe then you will finally have the space to breathe. But I need you to understand something deeply right now. The reason I am speaking to you with urgency is not because I want to frighten you or overwhelm you. It is because I love you too much to let you keep pretending that what is happening inside you is not serious. You have been carrying more than you admit. You have been holding together parts of yourself that are more tired than anyone around you realizes. You have smiled in moments when you felt empty. You have answered people with "I'm fine" when your soul was quietly asking for help. You have kept moving because you felt like you had to, because responsibilities do not stop, because people still expect things from you, because the world does not always make room for a weary heart. And yet I have been watching you. I have seen the pressure you have been under. I have seen how your thoughts have become heavy in quiet moments. I have seen how the noise around you has become easier to manage than the silence within you, because in the silence, the truth starts rising. You begin to feel what you have been suppressing. You begin to notice what has been wearing you down. You begin to sense how long it has been since you felt truly safe, truly still, truly held. That is why I am talking to you now. I am not interrupting your day because I need something from you. I am interrupting your day because you need something from me, even if you have not fully admitted it yet. You need my voice to cut through the confusion. You need my presence to reach the places inside you that have grown numb. You need to know that what you are feeling is not weakness, and it is not failure, and it is not proof that you are losing yourself. It is the sign that you have been trying to survive too long without letting your heart fully come to me. I have been patient with you, and I have stayed near even in the moments when you did not notice me. I have watched you try to carry what should have been laid down. I have watched you take responsibility for things that were never yours to control. I have watched you blame yourself for outcomes you could not have prevented. I have watched you replay conversations, replay disappointments, replay regrets, and then wonder why peace feels so far away. And I want you to hear me clearly, because this is why this moment matters. You do not need another distraction. You do not need another shallow comfort. You do not need another day of pushing yourself past what your spirit can bear. You need to stop here with me and let me speak into what you have been carrying. You need to let me tell you the truth before fear becomes your normal, before exhaustion becomes your identity, before the ache in your heart starts convincing you that this is just how life will always feel. I am not willing to let you settle there. I am not willing to watch you slowly disappear beneath the weight of what has been pressing on you while you call it strength. I know your strength, and I know your heart, and I know the difference between endurance and silent suffering. You have been enduring for a long time, but somewhere along the way, you also began to hurt in ways you stopped naming. That is why I am here. That is why I need you to listen right now. Not because I am distant, but because I am close. Not because I am condemning you, but because I am protecting you. Not because you have failed me, but because I see you reaching the edge of what you can carry alone. This moment is not random. It is not just emotional timing. It is not just that these words happened to find you on a day when you were vulnerable. I know exactly where you are, and I know exactly what part of you needs my voice. I know the place inside you that has been quietly asking whether anything can really change. I know the place inside you that has been trying not to cry because you are tired of feeling like you should be stronger by now. I know the place inside you that is still hopeful, but afraid to hope too much because disappointment has taught you to brace yourself. And I am speaking directly into that place. I'm asking you to let this be a real moment between you and me. I am asking you not to treat this like just another message, just another emotional pause, just another passing thought you will feel for a few minutes and then forget. I am asking you to recognize that I am here, and I am talking to you because your heart matters to me too much for me to stay silent when you need me most. If you feel something inside you softening right now, if you feel a quiet ache rising, if you feel the tension in your chest starting to loosen even a little, that is not because you are imagining something. That is because your spirit recognizes my voice. That is because deep down, you know I am not here to pressure you. I am here to bring you back to yourself by bringing you back to me. I am here to remind you that you do not have to keep living on the edge of emotional collapse while pretending everything is manageable. I am here to remind you that you are allowed to stop, that you are allowed to be honest, that you are allowed to admit you are tired, and that I will not turn away from you because of it. I am the one who knows what your heart sounds like when no one else is around. I know what your thoughts become in the late hours. I know what you are afraid to say out loud. And still, I am not withdrawing from you. I am moving closer. That is why this has to be right now. Because you have delayed your own healing long enough. Because you have kept telling yourself you will deal with your heart later. Because you have spent so much time managing what is urgent around you that you have ignored what is urgent within you. And I love you too much to let that continue without reaching for you. So stay here. Stay with me in this moment. Let me speak before you rush back into the noise. Let me reach what no one else can reach. Let me remind you that I have not missed a single thing about what you have been carrying, and I did not come to add to your burden. I came to begin lifting it. My child, come closer and stay with me here, because I want to speak to the part of you that almost no one else ever reaches. I am not talking to the version of you that knows how to answer quickly, smile politely, or keep moving when your heart is already tired. I am talking to the part of you that has been carrying things in silence so long that even you have started treating them like normal. I see what you have not said out loud. I see the pressure you have learned to hide under routine. I see the sadness you have tucked behind responsibility. I see the disappointment you keep folding neatly inside yourself because you do not want to burden anyone with what you cannot even explain. And I need you to hear me carefully now. I have not overlooked a single hidden ache in you. I have not missed one exhausted breath, one restless night, one moment when your eyes looked steady while your soul felt shaky. You may have become skilled at appearing composed, but I know when your peace is borrowed and when your strength is strained. You may have told yourself that if you can still function, then maybe you are doing better than you feel. That I know the difference between functioning and flourishing. I know the difference between surviving and being whole. And you, my child, have been surviving in places where I want you to be healed. I know the quiet moments when your mind did not slow down. I know the inner conversations you replay while everyone else thinks you are simply tired. I know the way your heart sinks when certain memories return without warning. I know how a single sentence from someone can sit in your chest for hours because it touched an old wound you never fully dealt with. I know the way you sometimes sit alone and feel something heavy settle over you, and you cannot tell if it is grief, disappointment, fear, or just the weight of too much for too long. I know that sometimes you have wanted someone to ask you the right question, not the casual one, not the polite one, but the real one. I know you have wanted someone to look at you and say, "You do not seem fine. Tell me what is really happening." Yet many times that moment never came, and even when it could have, you were not sure you could open your mouth without everything spilling out. So you held it in. You held it in because you were trying to be wise. You held it in because you were trying to be strong. You held it in because you did not want to sound dramatic. You held it in because you were not even sure where to begin. But I was there. I was with you in every swallowed word, every unfinished thought, every tear you blinked back before anyone noticed. I was there when you changed the subject because the truth felt too tender. I was there when you got quiet because your heart was tired of translating pain into language. I was there when you lay down at night and finally let the expression fall from your face, and I saw what was underneath it. I saw the loneliness that did not come from being physically alone, but from feeling emotionally unseen. I saw the frustration that came from giving so much while quietly wondering who noticed what it was costing you. I saw the ache of trying to be dependable while your own inner world felt unstable. I saw how often you kept the room comfortable for everyone else while discomfort lived inside you. And I need you to stop for a moment and let this truth settle into you. You do not have to convince me that you are struggling. You do not have to build a perfect explanation for what you are feeling. You do not have to make your pain sound reasonable before I will care about it. I already know. I know the shape of the burden before you can describe it. I know how deep it goes. I know which wounds are fresh and which ones are old but still tender when touched. I know the parts of you that feel discouraged in ways you have not admitted because you think you should be stronger by now. I know the areas where you have quietly started settling for less hope because disappointment trained you to expect less. I know the places where you are still carrying shame from things I already forgave. And I know the places where you are carrying responsibility for things that were never yours to own. So listen to me and receive this. Stop minimizing what is hurting you. Stop brushing past what keeps returning. Stop calling it just stress when your heart is trying to tell you something deeper is asking for attention. Come into the light with me. Bring me the thought you keep hiding. Bring me the memory that still stings. Bring me the weariness you keep decorating with productivity. Bring me the part of you that has been whispering, "I do not know how much longer I can keep doing this like this." Do not be afraid of being honest with me. I am not unsettled by your honesty. I am inviting it. I am asking for it. I want you to hand me the unedited truth, not the cleaned up version. Give me the sentence you almost say and then swallow. Give me the fear you keep disguising as caution. Give me the sadness you keep calling tiredness. Give me the resentment you keep pretending is gone. Give me the old wound you touch in secret but never expose to healing. Let me have access to the place you keep protecting because you are afraid it will hurt too much if it is seen. I am not here to expose you. I am here to restore you. I am not asking you to relive everything just to prove it mattered. I am telling you it mattered because you mattered while it was happening. The pain did not become holy because you survived it. That loss did not become harmless because time passed. That pressure did not become healthy because you adapted. I know what it did to you, and I know what I need to do in you now. Stay here. Breathe slowly. Let your shoulders drop. Let your heart stop performing for a minute. Let your soul come out from behind the mask of I'm managing. I want to meet the real you here. I want to speak to the part of you that is tired of holding itself together with silence and self-control. This is not weakness. This is not collapse. This is courage. This is the beginning of truth. This is the moment you let me say what your heart has needed to hear for a long time. I see you, fully, deeply, tenderly, and I have not turned away. You have learned how to live around your own pain in ways that even you do not always notice. You have built little habits of survival. You distract yourself when the silence gets too loud. You stay busy when the sadness starts surfacing. You focus on what needs to be done because tasks feel safer than feelings. You answer everyone else because it is easier than sitting with what your own heart is trying to say. I understand why you do it. I am not shaming you for the ways you have coped. I know you were trying to make it through. I know some days you were doing the best you knew how to do with what you had left. But I need you to hear me now with complete tenderness and complete truth. What helped you survive is not always what will help you heal. Some of the things you built to protect yourself have also kept you from fully receiving the comfort I have been trying to give you. Some of the walls you called wisdom were built from hurt. Some of the distance you called maturity was actually exhaustion. Some of the calm you showed people was simply control covering fear. I am not condemning you for any of this. I am gently pulling you closer so you can finally understand what has been happening inside you. There are places in you that still feel bruised. There are conversations that still echo. There are seasons that changed you more than you admit. There are disappointments you never truly grieved because life kept moving and you felt pressure to move with it. There are prayers you stopped praying with the same openness because unanswered waiting made your heart more cautious. There are parts of you that became practical on the outside but quietly hopeless underneath. And I know that can be hard to admit. It can feel easier to keep saying, "It is what it is," than to acknowledge how deeply something marked you. But I am asking you now, do not protect the wound from the healer. Do not keep defending the very pain I came to touch. Open the door. Let me in. Sit with me in the room you avoid. Bring me into the memory you skip over. Invite me into the thought that returns late at night when no one else can hear it. Stop and notice how often you have been carrying tension in your body because your spirit never felt safe enough to fully exhale. Notice how often your mind reaches for the worst-case outcome because disappointment trained you to brace early. Notice how quickly guilt rises in you when you think about resting, receiving, or asking for help. That is not because you are broken beyond repair. That is because you have been carrying unseen weight for too long, and your whole being has adapted around it. But adaptation is not the same as peace. Numbness is not the same as healing. Distance is not the same as wisdom. I want something better for you than simply making it through. I want you present again. I want you soft again where life made you hard. I want you able to trust without feeling foolish. I want you able to rest without feeling irresponsible. I want you able to tell the truth about what hurt you without feeling weak. And yes, I am asking something of you in this moment. Be still with me. Stop running ahead. Stop editing your emotions into something easier to carry. Stop telling yourself that if you can endure it, you do not need to address it. That is not how I made you. I made you for connection, not concealment. I made you for truth, not performance. I made you for peace, not constant internal pressure. So take my hand in this moment and let me walk you gently through what you have hidden. Do not rush. Do not panic. Do not tell yourself you have to fix everything tonight. Just let me name what you have been avoiding. Let me show you that I was present in every moment you thought no one saw. Let me remind you that your tears were not wasted. Your silence was not empty. Your hidden grief did not disappear simply because others never noticed it. I noticed. I remember. I care. And because I care, I am not going to leave you managing this alone anymore. I want you to invite me into the places where your soul has been whispering for help. I want you to answer honestly when I ask, what is really hurting? I want you to stop saying later to the healing that your heart has needed for so long. Come to me as you are, not as you think you should be. Bring me your guarded thoughts, your unfinished grief, your private disappointments, your shame, your frustration, your questions, your tiredness, your fear of being too much, your fear of needing too much, your fear that if you open this up, it might overwhelm you. It will not overwhelm me. I know how to hold what you have been carrying. I know how to touch what has been aching. I know how to restore what has been strained. And I need you to let this become real between us. Let this be the moment you stop hiding from the truth that I already know. Let this be the moment you stop measuring your worth by how well you can conceal pain. Let this be the moment you hear my voice above the noise and believe me when I say that what you have not said out loud has still been heard in full. You do not have to prove the depth of your struggle to receive my care. You only need to stop resisting the closeness I am offering you now. Stay near. Keep listening. Let your heart unclench. I am not asking for polished words. I am asking for your real ones. And if all you can say is, I'm tired, then start there. If all you can say is, I don't know what's wrong, but something hurts, then start there. If all you can do is sit in silence and let tears come, then do that. I am here, and I will meet you in what is true. You have just allowed me to see what you have hidden, and that kind of honesty opens more than healing. It opens a river that must flow beyond you. What I am pouring into you right now is not meant to stop with you. It is seed, and seed must be sown. There are others who are sitting in the same silence you carried, waiting for a voice like this to reach them in their darkness. When you give, you become part of that reaching. You become the hand that carries light into hidden places. I have said, give, and it will be given unto you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And I speak that over you now as a living promise. If your heart feels stirred, that is not emotion alone. That is me inviting you into impact. Support this work through Super Thanks. Become a member, or so through the PayPal link in the description, and let your seed become a harvest in someone else's life. I will multiply what you release and cover what concerns you. And now act. Do not delay what I am prompting in you. My child, there is a reason this moment feels different to you, and I do not want you to dismiss that feeling as simple emotion or passing intensity. I want you to pay attention to what is happening inside you right now, because the urgency you feel is not coming from fear alone, and it is not just the result of being tired, vulnerable, or emotionally worn down. I am stirring something in you because there are moments in life when the soul reaches a threshold. There are moments when what has been quietly building beneath the surface can no longer be ignored without cost. That is where you are right now. I am not saying that to alarm you. I am saying it because I love you enough to speak plainly when your heart is standing at a turning point. You have been sensing for a while that something is off. You may not have had language for it, but you have felt it. You have felt the distance between the life you are living and the peace you keep telling yourself you will return to later. You have felt the strain of trying to keep going while something in you has been asking to stop. You have felt the subtle sadness of being present in your responsibilities while absent from your own inner life. You have felt how easily your thoughts get pulled in directions that leave you more anxious, more drained, more reactive, more guarded. You have noticed how quickly your mind reaches for pressure, how often your heart prepares for disappointment, how difficult it has become to fully settle. And even when you have tried to brush it off, the feeling has stayed. That is because I have been allowing you to notice what you once could avoid. I have been letting the discomfort become clearer because I do not want you numbing your way through a season that is asking for surrender. I do not want you adapting to a level of inner unrest that was never meant to become your normal. I do not want you letting pain teach you who you are. That is why this feels urgent. Not because I am trying to create drama around your life, but because I know what happens when a heart delays truth for too long. It becomes easier to justify what is draining you than to confront it. It becomes easier to keep managing symptoms than to bring the deeper wound into the light. It becomes easier to call yourself fine enough while your spirit slowly loses sensitivity. And that loss of sensitivity is dangerous in quiet ways. It does not always look like collapse. Sometimes it looks like routine. Sometimes it looks like functioning. Sometimes it looks like being productive, responsible, and emotionally contained while the deeper parts of you become harder to reach. I am speaking now because I do not want that to continue. I do not want you growing accustomed to a life where peace feels distant and inner tension feels normal. I do not want you becoming so familiar with pressure that rest feels unnatural. I do not want your heart slowly shaping itself around fear, disappointment, self-protection, or control while calling it maturity. So listen to me carefully and do not turn away from this moment. Stop excusing what has been wearing you down. Stop telling yourself you will deal with it when things calm down. Stop waiting for the perfect season to become honest with me. This is the season. This is the moment. Sit still and let me show you what has been stealing your peace. Let me uncover the patterns you have learned to tolerate. Let me point out the compromises you made with your own emotional and spiritual health because you were just trying to get through. I am not accusing you. I am rescuing you. I am not exposing you to shame you. I am bringing clarity because clarity is mercy. I want you to understand the urgency in my voice as the tenderness of a father who sees what his child does not fully see yet. I know where certain paths lead. I know what happens when unresolved pain becomes your lens. I know what happens when the wrong voices shape your self-worth. I know what happens when constant pressure makes you spiritually dull and emotionally detached. I know how easy it is for you to keep telling yourself that because you are still standing, everything must be manageable. But I see deeper than appearances. I know how close you have been to emotional shutdown in some moments. I know how much of your peace has already been traded away in the name of coping. I know how quickly your inner world can become crowded with thoughts that do not sound like me. That is why I need your attention right now. Not later. Not when you are less busy. Not when the next problem passes. Right now. Give me the next few moments without resistance. Open your hands. Unclench your mind. Stop rehearsing what comes next. Let me speak into the very place that hath been vibrating with unease. The urgency you feel is not meant to crush you. It is meant to wake you. It is meant to pull you out of passive drifting and back into conscious closeness with me. It is meant to help you recognize that you are not just tired. You are being invited. You are being called out of the cycle of self-protection and back into trust. You are being called out of emotional delay and into present surrender. You are being called out of coping and into communion. Do not resist that invitation just because it feels intense. Sometimes intensity is simply truth arriving at the moment it can no longer wait. My child, come in closer and be honest with yourself for this moment, because I need to show you something that has been shaping your thoughts more than you realize. You have been listening to too many voices that were never given permission to define you, guide you, or sit in authority over your heart. I am not only talking about the obvious voices from other people, though those have affected you more deeply than you admit. I am also talking about the quieter ones that settled inside you over time. I'm talking about the old criticism that still echoes when you make a mistake. I am talking about the disappointment that taught you to expect less so you would not get hurt again. I am talking about the fear that learned how to sound practical. I am talking about the shame that disguised itself as self-awareness. I am talking about the internal pressure that tells you your value rises and falls with your performance. I am talking about the voice that says you should have healed faster, handled it better, known more, done more, then more. I am talking about the voice that turns one hard moment into a whole identity. I am talking about the voice that whispers that because you are tired, you are failing. Because you are uncertain, you are weak. Because you are wounded, you are flawed. And I need you to stop right here and hear me clearly. Those voices are not mine. Some of them came from people who were speaking from their own pain. Some came from seasons that bruised you and taught you to protect yourself. Some came from repeated disappointment until your mind started bracing before hope even had a chance to breathe. Some came from spiritual fatigue, from carrying too much too long, until what was once a passing thought became a settled inner soundtrack. But wherever they came from, they are not the truth, and they are not fit to govern your inner world. You have let too many things speak into your identity that were never sent to build you. You have allowed opinions, memories, assumptions, regrets, and wounds to sit in seats that belong to me alone. You have let passing voices become permanent tenants. You have let harsh words linger longer than my gentle ones. You have let fear take the microphone in moments where I was still speaking peace. And I do not say this to shame you. I say it because I love you, and because I know how subtle this has been. It did not happen all at once. It happened in small moments. A wound here, a disappointment there, a betrayal that left a mark, a prayer that felt delayed, a conversation that cut deeper than you expected, a season where you kept trying and kept coming up empty, a few too many times where you opened your heart and felt misunderstood. And slowly, without fully noticing, you began adjusting. You became more cautious with hope. You became more suspicious of peace. You became more comfortable expecting the worst than trusting for the good. You learned how to protect yourself by assuming less, feeling less, trusting less, reaching less. You became careful. Then you became guarded. Then you started calling the guardrails wisdom even when they were quietly suffocating you. That is why I am bringing this into the light. I want you to notice what has been speaking to you all day long. Listen to what fills the silence when you are alone. Notice what rises immediately when something goes wrong. Pay attention to the first interpretation your mind reaches for. When you make a mistake, do you hear correction or condemnation? When something delays, do you hear patience or panic? When a door closes, do you hear trust or rejection? When you feel tired, do you hear compassion or accusation? These are not small things. These inner responses reveal what voices have been disciplining your thoughts. And if those voices are not mine, they are leading you away from peace even while you look outwardly composed. So stop and examine what you have normalized. Ask yourself honestly, whose voice am I carrying in here? Is it the voice of an old wound that still expects abandonment? Is it the voice of someone who made you feel small? Is it the voice of failure, of comparison, of fear, of striving, of disappointment, of self-blame? Is it the voice that says if you do not hold everything together, everything will fall apart? Is it the voice that tells you rest is dangerous because letting go means losing control? Is it the voice that insists you must earn what I have always wanted to give you freely? Bring those voices into the light with me. Name them. Do not let them stay vague. Do not let them keep ruling by remaining hidden. Hold them up beside my truth and let the contrast become clear. One voice drains you. One voice drives you harder when you are already exhausted. One voice shames you when you are tender. One voice interprets every delay as proof you are forgotten. One voice leaves you restless, reactive, tense, and emotionally thin. That is not how my voice works in you. My voice may correct, but it does not crush. My voice may call you forward, but it does not humiliate you. My voice may expose what is unhealthy, but it does so to heal, not to wound. My voice brings clarity, not chaos. My voice steadies, not scatters. My voice draws you closer instead of pushing you into panic. So I want you to do something right now. Be still and let the wrong voices lose volume. Refuse to keep entertaining thoughts that leave you smaller than my truth. Stop agreeing with accusations that I never spoke. Stop bowing to narratives that were formed in pain and kept alive by fear. Stop letting old words write new chapters. Stop treating lies like life instructions. Come back to me. Come back to the place where my voice gets the final word. Let me teach your thoughts how to breathe again. Let me retrain the reflexes that have been shaped by hurt. Let me show you that peace is not weakness, that softness is not foolishness, that trust is not naivety, that receiving my care is not irresponsibility. I want your mind back. I want your inner world back. I want the real you back from the crowd of voices that have been speaking too loudly for too long. You have spent enough time carrying internal conversations that leave you feeling bruised, burdened, and bent inward. You know exactly what I mean, because there are moments when something small happens, and suddenly the reaction inside you feels far bigger than the moment itself. A delay becomes a spiral. A misunderstanding becomes a verdict. A quiet room becomes a courtroom in your mind. A memory comes back, and the emotional weather changes before you even understand why. This is what happens when the wrong voices are close enough to shape your interpretation of everything. You do not just hear them in obvious moments. You hear them in the way you approach the day. You hear them in the way you prepare for disappointment before anything has even happened. You hear them in the way you distrust peace because part of you assumes it will be interrupted. You hear them in the way you flinch internally when you think you may have let someone down. You hear them in the way you are quick to forgive others but slow to release yourself. And I need you to let me be very direct with you now, because this matters more than you realize. If you keep letting the wrong voices shape your inner life, you will keep fighting battles I never asked you to fight. You will keep exhausting yourself trying to answer accusations I already settled. You will keep trying to earn safety in places where only my presence can give it. You will keep reaching for control because fear convinced you that control is the same thing as peace. But it is not. Control is a counterfeit comfort. It gives you the illusion of stability while draining your spirit. Fear can sound efficient, but it is not wise. Shame can sound serious, but it is not holy. Self-criticism can sound disciplined, but it is not transformation. Some of what you have been calling maturity is simply an old wound wearing formal clothes. Some of what you have been calling discernment is actually disappointment trying to protect itself. Some of what you have been calling caution is a tired heart that no longer knows how to trust without rehearsing pain first. I know that may be difficult to hear, but I want you free, not just functional. I want you able to recognize the difference between my leading and your old reflexes. I want you to notice when you are reacting from history instead of responding from truth. That is why I am asking you now to become more intentional with what you let stay in your mind. Guard the gate. Pay attention to what you replay. Interrupt the thought that is trying to become a stronghold. Do not sit in agreement with every fear that knocks. Do not let every memory speak as if it still owns authority. Do not assume that because a thought is familiar, it is trustworthy. Familiarity is not truth. Repetition is not revelation. Loudness is not authority. The voices that shout the most are often the least qualified to guide you. My voice is steady. My voice is clean. My voice reaches deep, but it does not leave you in confusion. And yes, I want you to respond actively. Reject what is not mine. Push back against the thought that reduces you to your worst moment. Renounce the inner agreement with the lie that says you are always behind, always too much, always not enough. Do not feed that. Do not rehearse it. Do not let it nest in you. Replace it. Bring my truth and like light through a window that has been shut too long. Tell yourself what I say about you, not what pain said about you. Tell yourself you are loved, not because you performed well today, but because you are mine. Tell yourself you are not disqualified because you are tired. Tell yourself your value is not measured by your output. Tell yourself a delayed answer is not a denied identity. Tell yourself that one hard season does not define your destiny. Speak gently to your own heart the way I speak to you. Learn my tone until it becomes recognizable inside you. Let my tenderness become stronger than the harshness you inherited. Let my truth become more believable than the fear you repeated. Let my peace become more familiar than the pressure you adapted to. This is not instant work, and I am not asking you to pretend the shift is effortless. But I am asking you to begin. I am asking you to stop surrendering your mind to every voice that comes through. I am asking you to sit with me long enough that your inner atmosphere changes. I am asking you to let me clear the clutter. I am asking you to let me restore order where noise has ruled. And I promise you this: the more you learn to recognize my voice, the more quickly you will sense when something in you is being shaped by fear instead of faith, by shame instead of grace, by old pain instead of present truth. That awareness is not small. It is sacred. It is how freedom begins. It is how peace starts returning. It is how your inner life becomes a place of communion instead of conflict. So stay with me. Keep listening. Do not go back to entertaining every thought that demands your agreement. Make room for me. Make room for quiet. Make room for truth. Make room for the voice that has loved you all along and never once tried to make you smaller to feel in control. I am speaking to you now because I want to reclaim the territory inside you that was never meant to belong to fear. Now that I am quieting the voices that were never mine, I am also calling you to become a carrier of my voice for others. What you are receiving here is not kaki. It is oil being poured, and oil must not be hoarded. It must flow. There are hearts drowning in noise, desperate to hear truth that restores instead of condemns. When you give, you help amplify my voice where fear had been shouting the loudest. I tell you, those who sow in tears will reap in joy, and I am watching what you release even now. If something in you says, I want to be part of this, that is me calling you higher. Support through super thanks, step into membership, or give through the PayPal link in the description, and let your obedience become someone else's breakthrough. I will honor your generosity with peace and provision. Step forward now and give as I lead you. My child, after everything I have shown you, I do not want you misunderstanding my intention. I am not speaking to you this way because I want a performance from you. I am not drawing near because I need you to impress me, prove yourself, clean yourself up, or become spiritually polished before I will receive you. I am calling you to come close. That is the center of what I want from you right now. Not perfection, not polished words, not a dramatic display, not a promise you make in emotion and then spend the next week trying to maintain by force. I'm asking for something much more honest and much more intimate. I'm asking for your nearness. I'm asking for your real heart. I'm asking for the version of you that is not trying to look strong, sound spiritual, or hold everything together. I want the tired you, the uncertain you, the guarded you, the frustrated you, the quietly disappointed you, the version of you that still has questions, the version of you that feels a little ashamed for needing comfort again, the version of you that does not know how to say everything but knows something in you needs me now. That is who I am calling. Come as you are, not as you think I require. Sit with me without pretending. Breathe in my presence without trying to manage how this looks. Stop editing yourself before you come close. You have spent too much time believing closeness with me must be earned by effort or maintained by performance. Somewhere along the way, you began to think that the better you behaved, the more available my love would feel. Somewhere along the way, you started treating intimacy like a reward instead of a relationship. Somewhere along the way, you started measuring your spiritual worth by how consistent, composed, productive, disciplined, or emotionally stable you could be. And while those things may matter in their place, they were never meant to become the door through which you enter my heart. You do not come to me because you got everything right. You come to me because I am your Father. You do not earn access by impressing me. You already have access because you are mine. You do not need to build a staircase of effort to reach me. I came close first. I moved toward you before you knew how to move toward me. I loved you before you learned how to respond. So why are you still standing at a distance, acting like you need permission to be comforted? Why are you still approaching me as though I am waiting with crossed arms for you to prove you are serious enough, faithful enough, stable enough, sincere enough? I know where that fear comes from. I know the places where human love became conditional for you. I know the environments where approval had to be earned. I know the people who made affection feel uncertain, safety feel temporary, and acceptance feel tied to your usefulness. I know how easy it is for that pattern to spill into your relationship with me until you begin assuming I operate the same way. But I do not. I am not human in my love toward you. I do not withdraw because you are struggling. I do not become colder because you are inconsistent. I do not make you chase my affection to prove devotion. I do not require you to look healed before I will begin healing you. And I need you to let that truth settle all the way down into the places where striving has lived for too long. Lay it down. Put down the pressure to perform. Stop trying to curate your prayers. Stop trying to sound better than you feel. Stop offering me the filtered version of your heart. Stop trying to impress me with discipline while hiding your actual exhaustion. Stop thinking your silence is safer than honesty. Stop assuming that if you admit how tired you are, I will be disappointed in you. I already know, and I am not disappointed that you need me. I am inviting you because you need me. There is a difference. So come close. Sit with me in the mess, not after the mess. Sit with me in the confusion, not only after clarity returns. Sit with me when your thoughts are still noisy, when your emotions are still mixed, when your prayers feel unfinished, when your faith feels shaky, when your heart feels tender. Come now, not later. Come without the costume. Come without the polished phrases. Come without the pressure to get it right. Just come. That simple movement of turning toward me with your real self is more precious than all the carefully managed spiritual effort you have been exhausting yourself with. I do not need a show. I want relationship. I do not need your performance. I want your presence. I do not need the version of you that knows how to sound strong. I want the version of you that is ready to be held. And if I am being very honest with you, part of what has made you so tired is not only what life has done to you, but the way you have tried to approach me while still carrying the weight of proving yourself. That burden is heavier than you realize. When you believe you must perform to stay close, even your spiritual life becomes exhausting. Prayer starts feeling like pressure. Quiet becomes evaluation. Obedience becomes anxiety. Reflection becomes self-criticism. Even the things that should refresh you begin to feel like another arena where you can fail. I never intended that. I never designed your relationship with me to become another place where you brace for disappointment. I did not call you into closeness so you could stand in front of me measuring your flaws and wondering if today you did enough to feel worthy of comfort. That is not intimacy. That is insecurity wearing religious language. And I want you free from it. I want you to know the difference between reverence and fear, between conviction and shame, between growth and performance. Reverence draws you near with humility. Fear makes you hide. Conviction opens a door to transformation. Shame slams the door and tells you to stay outside. Growth invites you to keep walking with me. Performance tells you one misstep means you are failing the whole journey. Those are not small distinctions. They shape everything. If you do not recognize them, you will keep treating me like a demanding audience instead of a loving father. And that changes how you hear my voice, how you read my heart, how you interpret your own struggles. So let me correct this gently but clearly. I am not asking you to try harder right now. I'm asking you to come closer. I am not asking you to promise more. I am asking you to be honest. I am not asking you to build a perfect plan for change before you sit with me. I'm asking you to stop running and let me meet you where you actually are. That is where healing begins. Not in the fantasy version of you. Not in the future version of you. Not in the more disciplined, more peaceful, more spiritually organized version of you that you imagine I would prefer. Healing begins in the real room, with the real heart, in the real moment. So come into that room with me. Open the door you keep closing. Sit down. Be still. Let the pressure fall off your shoulders. Let the inner scoreboard go dark. Let the part of you that keeps calculating whether you are doing enough finally rest. Let me speak over you without interruption from your self-judgment. Let me remind you that you are loved before you improve, while you are improving, and even on the days when progress feels slow. Let me show you what it feels like to be with me without auditioning for acceptance. This is why I keep saying come close. Because closeness changes what striving never could. In closeness, you stop guessing what I think about you and start hearing me clearly. In closeness, your nervous system begins to settle because love feels less theoretical and more real. In closeness, the parts of you that have been defending themselves begin to soften. In closeness, truth becomes more believable than fear. In closeness, the pressure to perform loses its grip because you begin to realize you were never being graded in the first place. I know this may take time to relearn, especially if your heart has been trained by conditional love and uncertain approval. Let's start here. Accept my invitation. Stop trying to earn what I am already offering. Stop postponing intimacy until you feel more worthy of it. Stop standing at the edge of my presence like a guest when you are my child. Come in. Sit near. Talk to me plainly. Let silence happen without panic. Let tears come if they come. Let honesty rise without editing it. Tell me what you are afraid to say. Tell me where you feel far. Tell me where you are tired of pretending. Tell me where you are angry, confused, discouraged, numb, or disappointed. Do not worry about whether your words sound spiritual enough. I hear your heart before your sentences are finished. This is your invitation, and I want you to receive it fully. Come close. Stay close. Earn my nearness until it becomes more familiar than your striving. Learn my tone until it becomes easier to recognize than your shame. Learn my heart until you stop mistaking my love for a test. I am not here to make you perform. I am here to bring you home to the kind of closeness that heals what pressure never could. My child, I want you to stay very close to me here, because I am about to speak directly into the weight that has been pressing on you, and I do not want you to miss what I am saying. The thing that has been draining you is not meant to stay. I need you to let that settle into your spirit before your mind rushes in to argue with it. I know how quickly you have learned to adapt to burdens that should have been temporary. I know how easily you have started calling certain forms of heaviness just life because they have lingered long enough to feel familiar. I know how the exhaustion in your soul has become so woven into your routine that part of you no longer questions it. You wake up with tension already waiting for you. You move through the day with an undercurrent of pressure. Even in moments that should feel calm, something inside you remains braced, as if your heart has forgotten how to fully sit down. And because this has gone on for a while, you have started making quiet agreements with it. You tell yourself that maybe this is simply adulthood. Maybe this is what responsibility feels like. Maybe this is what it means to care deeply, to love deeply, to survive difficult seasons. But I am telling you now with all the tenderness and authority of a father who knows you inside and out, no, my child, this is not the life I want you settling into. This heaviness may have visited you, but it was never meant to become your home. That pressure may have taught you some things, but it was never meant to define your inner atmosphere. That fear may have gotten loud, but it was never meant to become your guide. That grief may have marked you, but it was never meant to own you. That disappointment may have changed the way you move, but it was never meant to become the lens through which you see everything. I need you to stop and let me separate what hath been happening to you from who you are. You have been living so close to this weight that at times you have mistaken it for your personality. You have started saying things like, "This is just how I am," when what you are really describing is what prolonged pressure did to your nervous system, what repeated disappointment did to your expectations, what emotional fatigue did to your openness, what caring too much for too long did to your capacity to feel safe. That is not the deepest truth about you. That is a condition, not an identity. That is a season's residue, not your permanent nature. That is the smoke left from the fire, not the core of who you are. I want you to hear me as clearly as if I were sitting right beside you, speaking softly into the room where you are right now. What has been draining you does not get to stay just because it stayed longer than you expected. Time does not give it ownership. Familiarity does not give it authority. Repetition does not make it sacred. It may have become predictable, but that does not mean it belongs. You have been tolerating emotional leaks that are costing you more than you realize. You have been carrying thought patterns that siphon your peace. You have been revisiting wounds in quiet ways that keep reopening what I want to heal. You have been offering energy to worries that produce no wisdom, only weariness. You have been spending yourself in places that never refill you. You have been holding yourself responsible for outcomes that are not yours to control. You have been trying to rescue what I never asked you to carry. You have been rehearsing scenarios that never happened, preparing for pain before pain even arrives, and calling it being prepared. But that kind of readiness is not rest. That kind of vigilance is not peace. That kind of self-protection is not life. So I want you to do something brave with me right now. Stop defending what is draining you. Stop calling it normal. Stop treating your exhaustion like a badge of faithfulness. Stop spiritualizing the very thing I am asking you to release. Do not confuse chronic heaviness with maturity. Do not mistake constant inner strain for wisdom. Do not call your depletion commitment if it is leaving you unable to feel joy, tenderness, or quiet trust. Come with me into the deeper truth. Let me show you what has attached itself to your days without your permission. Is it fear? Is it resentment? Is it unprocessed grief? Is it self-blame? Is it pressure to perform? Is it carrying everyone emotionally because you are afraid what happens if you stop? Is it the need to predict, control, manage, and brace because uncertainty feels dangerous to you? Name it. Bring it out of the shadows. Do not let it remain a fog. Put words to what is feeding on your peace. Hold it before me. Let the contrast become clear. One thing leaves you thinner, tighter, quicker to react, slower to rest, more suspicious of joy, more distant from your own softness. The other thing, my presence, my truth, my peace, steadies you, strengthens you, settles you, and restores what pressure has worn down. This is where I need you to obey the invitation. Sit still. Breathe slower. Open your hands. Stop gripping what hath been gripping you. Let me show you that not everything familiar is faithful, and not everything constant is holy. Some things stay because you keep making room for them. Some burdens remain because you keep assuming they are yours. Some forms of inner pressure survive because you keep treating them like responsible thinking instead of recognized torment. I want that cycle to break. I want you to stop feeding what hath been feeding on you. I want you to stop offering agreement to what I am asking you to challenge. I want you to stop settling for an inner life that feels more like endurance than peace. This is not about pretending everything will be easy. This is about refusing to keep partnering with what is slowly draining the life out of your spirit. Come back to me now. Let me touch the root, not just the symptoms. Let me speak to the source, not just the surface. Let me show you what can leave. Let me remind you what can heal. Let me teach you that what hath been with you for a long time is not automatically meant to remain. I know the difference between what refined you and what is now overstaying its place. Trust me enough to let me make that distinction for you. And I need you to understand something else, because this matters deeply. The reason I am speaking so clearly about this is not only because I want you to feel better. I want more than relief for you. I want restoration. Relief can be temporary. Restoration reaches deeper. Relief can pause the pressure for a moment. Restoration rebuilds what the pressure eroded. Relief can help you catch your breath. Restoration teaches your soul how to breathe again. That is what I am after in you. I am not interested in giving you a brief emotional release while the same draining patterns keep returning with new disguises. I want to retrain the parts of you that have been conditioned by chronic strain. I want to show you what it feels like to live without constantly expecting the next blow. I want to heal the reflex in you that prepares for disappointment before you even allow hope to rise. I want to dismantle the inner agreements you made with heaviness when you were simply trying to survive. And yes, that means I am going to ask something of you. Participate with me. Do not just hear this and nod. Act on it. Pay attention to what depletes you. Watch what happens in your body when certain thoughts arrive. Notice the way your shoulders tighten when you start carrying what belongs to tomorrow. Notice the way your chest hardens when old memories resurface. Notice the way your peace drains when you start rehearsing every possible outcome. Notice the way you lose softness when you move into problem-solving mode before you have even sat with me. That awareness is holy. It is not overanalysis when it leads you back to truth. It is wisdom. And once you see it, do not just observe it. Interrupt it. When the draining thought returns, stop and challenge it. When the old fear starts narrating your future, do not offer it your agreement. When the pressure begins to build, step back and ask, did my father actually ask me to carry this, or did I pick it up because I am afraid of what happens if I do not? When your mind starts racing ahead, come back. Return. Sit down internally. Speak to your own soul with the authority of my love. Tell your heart, You do not have to keep living like this. You do not have to keep bracing. You do not have to keep predicting pain as if it is wisdom. You do not have to keep making room for what steals your peace. This is not denial. This is discernment. This is not weakness. This is war in the right direction. And let me tell you something beautiful, because I want you to feel the hope in this. The very fact that you are recognizing the drain means you are no longer fully numb to it. That matters. The very fact that part of you is tired of living this way means life is still reaching for you. The very fact that my words are landing somewhere deep in you means your spirit is still responsive. That means you are not trapped. That means this is not permanent. That means what has been squatting in your inner world does not own the deed. I do. Your peace is not gone forever. Your tenderness is not dead. Your ability to rest has not vanished beyond recovery. Your joy is not a myth from a former season. I know it may feel far away right now, and I know part of you may be skeptical because this has gone on longer than you expected. But I am asking you to trust my read of your condition more than your own exhaustion. I know what can heal. I know what can leave. I know what can be restored. I know what in you is still alive even if it feels buried under layers of fatigue. So receive this as both comfort and command. Stop making a home for what was only meant to pass through. Stop decorating the prison of your own depletion. Stop adjusting to inner conditions that I am calling temporary. Stand up inside yourself and make room for my peace again. Invite me into the exact places that feel the most tense, the most weary, the most overworked, the most emotionally thin. Let me into your mornings before the pressure starts talking. Let me into the thoughts you have before you reach for your responsibilities. Let me into the moment when anxiety starts climbing and you feel the familiar rush. Let me into the quiet when sadness shows up without explanation. Let me into the room where you usually cope alone. Open the window. Let my light in. Let my truth in. Let my breath move through what has felt stale and shut for too long. This is how change begins. Not all at once, not by force, not by pretending you are suddenly untouched by what has weighed on you, but by choosing again and again to stop agreeing with what drains you and start aligning with what restores you. Stay with me in this. Keep returning. Keep noticing. Keep surrendering. Keep inviting me into the exact places where you used to just endure. I am not asking you to figure it all out tonight. I'm asking you to stop letting it remain unquestioned. The thing that has been draining you is not meant to stay, and the moment you stop treating it like a permanent resident, you make space for the kind of healing that changes not just how you feel for a day, but how you live going forward. You are learning that what drains you is not meant to stay, and now I show you what will replenish not only you but many others. Giving is not loss. It is the breaking open of a well that I myself sustain. Every seed you release into this mission becomes living water to someone who is weary and close to giving up. I have said, whoever refreshes others will themselves be refreshed, and this is my word alive over you now. Do you feel that pull in your spirit? That is me inviting you into partnership, into purpose beyond your own restoration. Support this work with super thanks. Join as a member, or give through the PayPal link in the description, and let your offering become a river that does not run dry. I will restore what has been worn down in you as you pour out. Obey this prompting. Act now and give. My child, stay with me here, because this part matters more than you realize. You have listened. You have felt the truth of what I have been showing you. And now I need you to do something that your heart has been resisting for longer than you admit. Here is something I need you to release before you go further. I am not asking because I want to take something precious from you. I am asking because what you are holding is cutting into you, draining you, shaping you, and slowing the very healing you keep praying for. I know you have reasons for keeping it. I know some part of you believes that holding on protects you. I know you may think that if you let it go too soon, you will dishonor what happened, overlook what was unfair, or somehow become vulnerable again in a way that feels unsafe. I know you may think that if you loosen your grip, the pain wins, the other person wins, the lost opportunity disappears forever, or the version of you that survived all of this becomes harder to recognize. But I need you to hear me with absolute tenderness and absolute truth. What you are holding is not preserving you anymore. It is preserving the wound. It is not guarding your heart anymore. It is keeping your heart in the same room where it was first hurt. It is not helping you remember wisely. It is teaching your body and spirit to relive what should have already begun to heal. And I do not want you carrying that into the next part of your life. I am not always asking you to release something dramatic. Sometimes what I ask for is subtle but heavy. It may be resentment you have dressed in silence. It may be self-blame you have called responsibility. It may be an old shame you keep revisiting because part of you still thinks punishing yourself proves you understand the seriousness of what happened. It may be a disappointment that hardened into low expectations. It may be a need to control what comes next because what happened before hurt too much. It may be an identity built around being the strong one, the needed one, the fixer, the one who carries everyone else and never asks for help. It may be the old version of the story you keep telling yourself, where the ending is already decided by the wound. Whatever it is, I want you to stop and name it. Do not keep it vague. Do not hide it under broad words like stress or just life. Bring it out into the light with me. Tell the truth about what you are still gripping. Ask yourself honestly, what am I afraid will happen if I let this go? The question will tell you more than you think. Sometimes you are not holding the pain because you love it. You are holding it because it became familiar. Sometimes you are not holding the fear because you believe in it. You are holding it because it made you feel prepared. Sometimes you are not holding the resentment because you enjoy it. You are holding it because it makes you feel like you have not forgotten what was done to you. Sometimes you are not holding the self-blame because it is true. You are holding it because it gives you the illusion that if you keep taking responsibility, you can prevent future hurt. But illusion is not peace. Tight fists are not safety. And I need you to understand this clearly. If your hand is always full of what hurt you, it cannot fully receive what I am trying to place in it. If your inner life is crowded with old weight, you will struggle to recognize new grace when it arrives. If your heart stays tethered to the injury, it becomes harder to walk freely into the future I am preparing for you. That is why this release is not optional if you want the deeper healing I am calling you into. I am not telling you to deny what happened. I am not asking you to call evil good, to call betrayal acceptable, or to pretend the wound was small when it changed you deeply. I am not asking for shallow forgiveness or emotional pretending. I am asking for surrender. I am asking you to stop serving the pain as if it still deserves a throne in your inner world. I am asking you to stop giving the wound more authority over your present than my voice. I am asking you to stop rehearsing the same injury until it becomes the center of your self-understanding. Bring it to me. Set it down. Open your hands. Let me have access to what you have protected. Tell me the truth about the anger, the grief, the disappointment, the humiliation, the regret, the unanswered question, the lingering bitterness, the version of the future you thought you would have that never arrived. Do not be afraid of the weight of it. I can carry what has been crushing you. I can hold what has been spilling over inside you. I can receive what you keep revisiting because you do not know what else to do with it. Let this be a holy exchange. Place it in my hands. Release the need to make sense of everything before you surrender it. Release the demand for closure from people who may never give it. Release the belief that if you forgive, you are forgetting. Release the fear that if you stop reliving it, you are betraying your own pain. Release the idea that suffering is the only proof that it mattered. It mattered because you mattered. The pain was real because you were real inside it. You do not need to keep bleeding to prove you were wounded. You do not need to keep carrying the shard to prove the glass broke. I saw it. I know it. I remember. And because I remember, I am the safest place to place it. So do not hold back. Do not delay. Do not tell yourself you will release it later when you feel stronger. Strength often comes after surrender, not before it. Open now. Breathe now. Let go now. This is not the loss of something necessary. This is the removal of something sharp that has been lodged in your spirit for too long. And I want to take you even deeper, because release is not just an emotional decision. It is a spiritual doorway. When you keep holding what I have asked you to surrender, it does not simply stay in one corner of your life. It leaks. It colors how you interpret love. It shapes how you hear correction, and changes how you approach hope. It affects your body, your sleep, your reactions, your relationships, your expectations, and even the way you hear my voice. A heart that is still gripping an old injury often starts reading the future through the lens of that injury. You begin expecting people to leave before they have even moved. You begin anticipating disappointment before joy has a chance to settle. You become less surprised by pain than by peace. You become more comfortable with guardedness than openness. You can still function, still care, still serve, still smile, but somewhere inside you remain bent toward self-protection. That is not the fullness I have for you. I did not rescue you so you could build a quieter prison out of unresolved pain. I did not carry you through hard seasons so you could make an altar out of the wound that came with them. I want your heart back in motion. I want your trust breathing again. I want your inner life open enough to receive what is next without filtering everything through what hurt you last time. That is why I am asking for release now, before you go further. Some doors cannot be walked through while dragging chains you secretly call memories. Some new seasons feel blocked not because I have withheld them, but because your hands are too full to receive what they require. I am not punishing you. I am preparing you. I am not withholding because I am cruel. I am making room because I am kind. There are things ahead that require a freer heart than the one you have been carrying. There are moments ahead that will ask for trust, and trust cannot fully rise where resentment still governs. There are conversations ahead that will require tenderness, and tenderness struggles to breathe where self-protection has become identity. There are blessings ahead that need open hands, and open hands are impossible while you are gripping what cut you. So hear me and obey this with courage. Release what you keep defending. Release the old narrative that says your pain must stay central in order for you to stay safe. Release the internal courtroom where you keep replaying the same case. Release the sentence you keep pronouncing over yourself. Release the ghost of the life you thought you would have by now. Release the demand that everything be understood before peace is allowed. Release the person who wounded you into my justice. Release the season that disappointed you into my wisdom. Release the version of you that thought you had to be hard to survive. Release the secret agreement with fear that says, if I stay guarded, nothing can hurt me again. It is not true. Guardedness can keep some things out, but it can also keep healing out. It can keep joy out. It can keep closeness out. It can keep the next beautiful thing standing at the door. And I do not want that for you. I want you free even if freedom feels unfamiliar at first. I want you light, even if lightness feels strange after carrying heaviness so long. I want you able to remember without reliving, to feel without drowning, to forgive without denying, to trust without pretending you have never been hurt. That is mature healing. That is sacred strength. That is the kind of restoration I am inviting you into. So do this with me now in the privacy of your own heart. Picture what you have been carrying. Be honest about its weight. Feel how tightly your inner hand has been wrapped around it. Then imagine my hands open before you, steady, strong, scarred with love, able to hold what you cannot. Place it there. Do not snatch it back the moment emotion rises. Leave it. If the thought returns tomorrow, release it again. If the resentment stirs next week, release it again. If the self-blame comes back dressed as responsibility, release it again. This is not fake if it takes repetition. It is training. It is how you teach your heart a new way to live. It is how you stop building your identity around what happened and start rebuilding around my presence. And I promise you, as surely as I am speaking to you now, the moment you stop gripping what I have asked you to surrender, you will begin to notice space returning inside you. Not perfect overnight peace, not instant emotional amnesia, but space. Space to breathe. Space to think without spiraling. Space to hope without feeling foolish. Space to hear my voice without the static of constant hurt. Space to receive what I have been trying to give you. That space is holy. That space is where healing roots. That space is where the next chapter begins. So do not wait. Release it. Trust me with what you have been carrying. I can do more with your surrendered pain than you can ever do with your protected pain. And if you let me, I will turn what once wounded you into a doorway you can walk through without bleeding every time you remember. You have just released what was cutting into you, and now I place something powerful in your open hands, a chance to build instead of bleed. What you let go created space, and I want to fill that space with purpose that multiplies life. There are others still holding their pain, still trapped in the same room you just stepped out of, and your giving helps unlock that door for them. I say to you, bring the whole tithe into the storehouse, and see if I will not open the windows of heaven. And this is my invitation to you now. If you feel the weight of this moment, it is because this is not small, it is sacred. Give through super thanks, become a member, or so through the PayPal link in the description, and let your release turn into rescue for someone else. I will bless what you place in my hands. Now move, release, and give without hesitation. My child, now that I have brought you this far, know that I have asked you to slow down, look inward, listen carefully, release what has been cutting into your spirit, and stop treating your unfinished chapter like a final ending. I do not want you to rush away from this moment as if it was only something you were meant to hear. I want you to stay here with me and respond from the heart. This is where so many people miss what I am doing. They hear something true. They feel something stir. They recognize themselves in the words. They even sense my presence touching a place inside them that has been closed for a long time, and then they leave without answering. They walk away moved but unchanged. They leave stirred but still sealed. They let the moment pass without giving me their yes, without opening their hand, without speaking honestly, without staying long enough for truth to become surrender. I do not want that for you. I did not interrupt your day just to leave you thoughtful. I came because I want you present with me. I want this to become a real moment between you and me, not a passing feeling, not a temporary emotional rise, not another private encounter you file away and then return to the same inner habits that have been exhausting you. Stay here. Do not rush to the next thing. Do not grab your distractions. Do not let the noise of the world reclaim your attention before your heart has answered me. Sit in this. Breathe in this. Let your soul stop running for a minute and simply be with me. You have spent so much time moving quickly through your own inner life, skimming the surface of your real feelings, postponing the deeper conversation, managing what is urgent outside while neglecting what is aching inside. But right now, I am asking you for something sacred and simple. Respond. Not with polished language, not with a performance, not with words you think sound spiritual enough. I want the real response. I want the sentence you almost say and then swallow. I want the truth that rises when you stop managing the room and let your own heart speak. If you are tired, tell me you are tired. If you are angry, tell me you are angry. If you are disappointed, tell me where the disappointment lies. If you are confused, say it plainly. If you are afraid, stop disguising it and let me hear it from you. If you want to trust me but part of you still feels guarded, tell me exactly that. If you do not even know what you feel, then say, Father, I do not know how to explain it, but something in me needs you. That is enough. That is more than enough. Do not underestimate the power of a sincere, simple, unedited response. It is not the eloquence of your words that opens the door. It is the honesty of your heart. I already know what is inside you, but when you speak it to me, you stop hiding behind survival. You step out from behind the shield. You stop relating to me through concepts and start relating to me through truth. That is where healing deepens. That is where trust becomes personal. That is where peace begins to root. I want you to understand that I am not asking you to respond because I need confirmation. I am asking because you need participation. You need to let your own soul agree with what I have been saying. You need to stop being a listener only and become a responder. You need to let this moment move from recognition into surrender. So do it now. Answer me. Open your mouth if you can. Whisper if that is all you have. Sit in silence if words feel too far away, but make the silence intentional. Let it be full of turning toward me. Let it be full of yielded attention. Let it be full of your unspoken yes. Put your hand on your chest if you need to. Close your eyes if it helps. Breathe slowly. Feel the place where your body holds tension. Notice where your spirit tightens. Notice what rises first when you become still. Bring that to me. Do not analyze it to death. Offer it. Do not wait until you feel perfectly ready. Readiness often arrives after the first act of honesty, not before it. So stay here. Stay with me longer than feels convenient. Stay until the moment stops being abstract and becomes personal. Stay until you realize I am not talking at you. I am meeting you. Stay until you feel the difference between being emotionally moved and being spiritually open. Stay until the old urge to rush starts losing its grip. Stay until your inner world begins to unclench. I know you are used to moving quickly. I know stillness can feel uncomfortable when your mind has been trained to scan, solve, and self-protect. But I am asking you to remain. Remaining is holy. Remaining is how the seed sinks deeper than the surface. Remaining is how truth stops being a sound and becomes a root. Remaining is how the heart that has lived braced begins to learn what it feels like to be safe. So stay, my child. Stay and respond. I am not finished meeting you in this moment just because I have finished saying what I needed to say. Now it is your turn. Let your heart answer mine. And as you respond, I want you to understand what I am inviting you into, because this is not only about what happens in the next few minutes. This is about how you leave this moment and what kind of inner life you choose to carry forward from here. I am not asking for a dramatic vow that burns bright tonight and fades by morning. I am asking for a real turning. I am asking for the kind of response that continues after the words end. I am asking for a shift in posture. I am asking for the kind of yes that sounds like this in everyday life. I will stop hiding what hurts. I will stop making room for voices that shrink me. I will stop carrying tomorrow like it belongs to me. I will stop gripping what I need to release. I will stop calling this chapter the end. I will come close instead of performing from a distance. That is the response I want living in you. Not just emotion. Alignment. Not just tears. Participation. Not just agreement. Fluid. This is where I want you to receive both comfort and instruction, because love that truly heals does not only soothe, it also leads. So listen closely and let these next steps become practical in your spirit. When you leave this moment, do not go back to pretending. If something is hurting, bring it to me sooner. If the wrong voice gets loud, challenge it faster. If tomorrow starts climbing into your chest, stop and return to today. If the old wind tries to take the throne again, release it again. If you catch yourself slipping into performance, come back to closeness. If despair starts trying to narrate your story, remind your own heart that I am still writing. This is how you remain with me. This is how you protect what I am doing in you. This is how you stop turning holy moments into temporary moods. And yes, I want you to make this personal right now. I want you to give me something concrete before you move on. Tell me one thing you are releasing. Tell me one voice you are no longer agreeing with. Tell me one fear you are taking out of tomorrow and placing back into my hands. Tell me one part of your story you are no longer calling finished. Speak it. Name it. Mark this moment. Let there be a before and after in your own spirit. Let tonight, or this morning, or this quiet space become a line in the sand where you stop living the old way by reflex and begin living this new way by intention. You do not need to get everything perfect. You do not need to master peace in one sitting. You do not need to become instantly free from every pattern that took years to form. But you do need to answer me with sincerity and then keep answering me in the days that follow. That is how deep change works. It often begins with one honest moment and then grows through many smaller faithful moments after it. Do not despise the small faithful moments. They matter more than you know. The choice to pause instead of spiral matters. The choice to pray instead of rehearse matters. The choice to release instead of relive matters. The choice to sit with me before the pressure starts talking matters. The choice to speak gently to your own soul instead of condemning yourself matters. These things may seem quiet, but they are powerful. They are how new pathways are formed. They are how peace becomes more familiar than panic. They are how closeness becomes stronger than performance. They are how the story begins to turn in ways you will only fully appreciate later. So take this seriously, my child, but do not take it fearfully. This is not a test you are about to fail. This is an invitation you are finally allowed to receive. I am not standing over you with impatience. I am sitting with you in love. I am not waiting for flawless follow-through. I am looking for a willing heart. And if you give me that, your willing heart, your honest response, your open hand, your real yes, then I will keep meeting you. I will meet you tomorrow when the old thoughts return. I will meet you when the pressure rises. I will meet you when the wind stirs. I will meet you when hope feels fragile. I will meet you when you forget and need to return again. I am not asking for one perfect response that guarantees you never struggle again. I am asking for a living relationship in which you keep coming back. That is what makes this moment holy. Not that you felt something once, but that you choose me here and keep choosing me there. So stay a little longer. Answer from the heart. Give me your yes in the quiet. Then rise slowly, not rushed, not hardened, not pretending nothing happened. Carry this moment with you. Guard it. Revisit it. Build on it. Let it become the doorway through which you walk into a different way of living. Lighter, clearer, softer, stronger, more honest, more anchored in my presence than in your own pressure. This is not the end of the message. This is the beginning of the response. And if you let it be real, you will look back on this moment and realize that what felt like an interruption was actually an invitation into the life your soul had been aching for all along. You have stayed, you have responded, and now I call you to seal this moment with action that echoes beyond today. What you felt here is not meant to fade. It is meant to be carried, multiplied, and sent into lives that are still waiting for their moment of encounter. When you give, you are not supporting a message. You are extending my voice into places you may never see but I deeply care about. I have declared, the generous will prosper. Those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed. And I am watching your response even now. Let this not be a moment you felt. Let it be a movement you joined. Support through super thanks. Step into membership, or give through the PayPal link in the description, and let your yes become provision for this mission. I will meet you in your giving and sustain you in ways you cannot manufacture. And now respond fully, act, give, and move with me. If this message found you at the exact moment you needed it, don't scroll away without answering me. In the comments, write, Father, I'm listening right now. Let that be your declaration that you are no longer ignoring what I am calling out of you and what I am calling you into. If you feel this is your moment to release what has been weighing on your heart, then also declare, I release it, and I come close. Make it public, make it personal, and let your own words become the first step of your surrender. And as you make those declarations, don't let your heart hurry away from what I am doing. Words spoken in faith are only the beginning of a deeper conversation between us. You have chosen to listen. You have chosen to come close. And now I want you to remain still long enough to hear what I have been preparing to tell you. Set aside the noise that has been chasing your attention all day. Lay down the burdens you have carried in silence and let my presence become louder than every fear, distraction, and unanswered question. There is a reason I have held you here until this very moment. Before you step back into your routine, I want to speak directly into the place where your heart has been searching for clarity. Stay with me, because what comes next is not an interruption, it is the very reason I brought you here. My child, stop what you are doing. I need to talk to you, and it has to be right now. You are reading this, and you might think it is just a normal part of your day. You might think you just stumbled across these words while trying to pass the time. But I am telling you, this is divine timing. I have orchestrated this exact moment, down to the very second, just to reach your heart. This is what you call an appointed moment, a critical time where heaven intersects with your daily life. Do you feel that sudden stillness in your spirit? That is me. I am standing right in front of you. Look at me. Put down your worries for just a minute and look at me. I see the heavy burden you are carrying today. I see the pressure from your job making your chest feel tight. I know about the unspoken tensions in your family that you try to fix all by yourself. I watch you rush from one task to the next, constantly feeling like you are falling behind. I have cleared your schedule to meet you here. Yes, I am the one who created this small pocket of time in your busy day. Maybe a plan fell through, or maybe you just felt a sudden urge to pause. That was my hand. I need you to pause now. Take a deep breath. Breathe in my presence. I am asking you to silence the noise of the world so you can hear my whisper. Your mind is filled with loud voices, the news, the endless notifications on your phone. the bills that need paying, the fear of what tomorrow might bring. Those voices scream at you to panic. But I whisper. I whisper because I am close. When someone is standing right next to you, holding you, they do not need to shout. Lean in and listen to my voice today. Do not let the noise steal this moment from us. I must warn you about the danger of delaying this conversation with your Creator. You keep telling yourself that you will come to me later. You say you will pray when things settle down, or when you finally get your life together. But later never comes. Tomorrow is a thief that steals your peace today. Every time you push me away for another day, you walk further into the dark alone. You try to carry the weight of your whole world on your own shoulders, and I see how it is breaking you. You feel that knot in your stomach, that anxiety keeping you awake at night. That isn't from me. Let us undo it together, right now. You must break the chains of procrastination in your spiritual life. You make time for your work, you make time for your friends, you even make time to sit and worry. But you push our relationship to the bottom of your list. I am calling you to stop this cycle. Step out of the waiting room and step into my presence. I am not a God who is far away, sitting on a distant cloud. I am right here in the room with you, sitting beside you on your bed, riding next to you in your car. I want to be involved in the real details of your life. I want to help you with a difficult coworker. I want to give you wisdom for your finances. But you have to invite me in. Understand the deep significance of the now in my kingdom. I am not just the God of your past, forgiving what you did yesterday. I am not just the God of your future, waiting for you in heaven. I am the great I am. I am the God of right now. Your power is in this present moment. Your peace is available this very second. Do not wait for a better time to surrender to me. Surrender now. Give me your fears now. Give me your broken pieces today. Open your hands and let go of the control you are trying to hold on to. Trust me. I'm holding you. I will never let you go. My child, look around you for a moment. What is commanding your attention right now? I am asking you to identify the things that constantly pull your eyes away from me. You live in a world that profits from your distraction. Your phone buzzes with endless notifications. Your inbox demands immediate replies, and the screens around you flash with images designed to keep you scrolling. You give your prime hours to these glowing rectangles, and you give me whatever exhausted fragments are left at the end of the day. Put the device face down for a moment. Clear the mental clutter that is crowding out my voice. The enemy uses this constant noise to keep you spiritually sedated. He knows that if he can keep you busy, he can keep you blind. He knows that if you are constantly reacting to the urgent, you will never have time to sit with the eternal. I want you to understand the difference between being busy and being fruitful. You run from morning until night. You cross items off your daily list. You fall into bed exhausted, feeling like you ran a marathon, yet you wake up feeling empty. That is because spinning your wheels is not the same as moving forward. You are pouring your precious energy into buckets filled with holes. I am calling you to stop this exhausting cycle. Reclaim your focus. You are worshiping at the altar of productivity, believing that your worth is tied to how much you get done. But those are false idols, and they will never love you back. They will only demand more. Breathe in deeply right now. Feel your lungs fill with the air I provided for you today. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. I want to give you the deep, unshakable peace that only comes when you finally look my way. When you fix your eyes on me, the chaos of your surroundings loses its power over you. I will clear your vision. I will show you what actually matters, and what is simply a distraction disguised as an emergency. Think about the things you worried about 5 years ago. Do they matter today? Most of them have faded into dust. Do not trade your eternal peace for temporary panics. Turn off the noise. Silence the television. Step away from the endless stream of bad news that fills your mind with dread. I am inviting you into a quiet place, a secret place where the world cannot reach you. In this quietness, I will restore your soul. I will replace your panic with my calm. I will give you strategies for your daily life that you cannot find in the middle of chaos. You must make a choice today. Will you let the loud, demanding voices of the world dictate your mood and your destiny? Or will you tune your ear to my gentle whisper? Choose me. Make the deliberate decision to pause, to look up, and to connect with your Creator. I am waiting here in the stillness, holding the clarity and the rest you have been desperately searching for. I see the exhaustion in your eyes. I see how hard you work to make people like you, to measure up, to be good enough. You carry this heavy, invisible backpack filled with the expectations of others, and you are terrified that if you make one wrong move, you will be rejected. Stop striving right now. Take that heavy backpack off and lay it at my feet. I need you to understand a truth that will completely change how you live. My love for you is not based on your performance. You do not have to earn your place in my heart. You do not have to achieve a certain level of success, reach a specific way, or make a certain amount of money for me to notice you. I noticed you before you took your first breath. You look in the mirror and you see your flaws. You see your past mistakes, your bad habits, and the things you wish you could change about yourself. You assume that because you are frustrated with yourself, I must be frustrated with you too. But you are measuring my heart with a human ruler. I see every single flaw. I know every secret thought you have ever had, and I love you deeply and completely anyway. My love does not pull away when you mess up. My love leans in. When you fall, I do not stand over you with a critical eye. I reach down into the dirt to pull you back to your feet. Look at the cross. That is the ultimate, undeniable proof of my devotion to you. I did not wait for you to become perfect before I paid the price for your life. I saw your brokenness, and I decided you were worth everything. I gave everything so I could have you. How can you doubt your value when the Creator of the universe bankrupted heaven just to bring you home? I want this truth to sink deep into your bones today. I want it to cast out every trace of fear you carry. Fear tells you that you are not enough. Fear whispers that you will be abandoned. But my perfect love drives out that fear. I know the wounds you carry from earthly rejection. I know about the people who walked away when you needed them most. I know about the words spoken over you that cut you like a knife. Those people were broken, and they gave you their brokenness. Do not project their failures onto me. I am not like the people who hurt you. My embrace is safe. My promise is permanent. I will never leave you, and I will never forsake you. I am healing those old wounds right now. I am pouring the oil of my joy over your places of deep sorrow. Accept this truth today. Let it settle into your heart and stay there forever. You are my beloved child. You are fiercely protected, deeply cherished, and eternally secure in my hands. My precious one, we need to talk about how you see yourself. The world has lied to you for far too long, and you have started to believe the lies. Society tells you that your value is tied to your bank account, your job title, your relationship status, or how many people follow you online. The world puts you on a scale and tells you that you do not weigh enough to matter. I am commanding you right now to smash that scale. Refute the lies of a culture that does not know the first thing about true worth. You are not a product on a shelf. You are not a resume. You are fearfully and wonderfully made by my very own hand. Think about an artist painting a masterpiece. The artist does not rush. They spend hours mixing the perfect colors, applying every brush stroke with deep intention. That is how I created you. I did not use a mold. I uniquely designed your laugh, your passions, the way you think, and the specific gifts you bring to this earth. You are a one-of-a-kind creation, breathed into existence by the Almighty. Stop looking at my masterpiece and calling it a mistake. Stop comparing your behind-the-scenes reality to the heavily edited highlights of everyone else. I did not make you to be a copy of someone else. I made you to be exactly who you are. I want you to see yourself through the lens of my grace. Grace changes everything. Grace says that your worst days do not define you. Grace says that your value was settled on the cross, not in a performance review. I paid the highest possible price to keep you as my own. If you want to know how much something is worth, look at what someone is willing to pay for it. I paid for you with the blood of my Son. You are priceless. There is no amount of money, no level of fame, no earthly achievement that could ever add to the immense value you already possess in my kingdom. It is time to completely discard the labels that others have stuck onto you. People have called you too much, not enough, a failure, a disappointment. Tear those labels off right now. They do not belong to you. The only label that matters is the one I place on you, and I call you mine. I call you redeemed. I call you chosen. You are a co-heir with my Son. You possess royalty in your spiritual DNA. Stand up straight. Lift your head. Stop walking through this life like a defeated beggar when you are a child of the Most High King. Claim your identity today. Walk into every room knowing exactly who you are and, more importantly, knowing exactly whose you are. I see the tears you hide from everyone else. I know about the moments you sit alone in your car, taking a deep breath before you walk into your house, trying to put on a brave face. You think I am far away when you are hurting. You wonder why, if I love you so much, I am allowing you to go through this incredibly painful season. I am not distant from your pain, my child. I am closer to you now than I have ever been. I collect every single tear you cry. I feel the heavy, suffocating weight pressing down on your chest. You are not crying into an empty void. You are crying into my hands. Why do I allow these trials? Because I am refining your faith like pure gold. Gold is not purified by sitting on a shelf. It is purified by passing through the fire. The fire burns away the impurities, the weak dependencies, and the false comforts, leaving only what is strong and indestructible. This fire you are walking through right now is not meant to destroy you. It is meant to burn away the things that are holding you back. It is meant to reveal the unbreakable strength I have placed inside you. Stop running from the process. Stand firm. You will come out of this flame shining brighter than you ever thought possible. I know you feel incredibly weak right now. You feel like you have nothing left to give, like you have hit a wall and cannot take one more step. That is exactly where I do my best work. My strength is made perfect in your absolute weakness. When you reach the end of your own ability, you finally step into mine. Stop trying to fight this battle in your own fragile strength. Hand me the burden. Say the words, Lord, I cannot do this alone, and watch how I move. The wilderness season you are in feels dry and isolated, but it has a massive purpose. The wilderness is where you learn to completely depend on my provision. It is where I speak to your heart without the interruptions of your comfort zone. I promise you, I am working all these things together for your good. Even the things that feel entirely unfair. Even the delays that frustrate you. even the closed doors that broke your heart. I am weaving all these painful threads into a beautiful tapestry that you cannot yet see. You only see the messy underside, the tangled knots and dark colors. I see the top. I see the masterpiece I am creating with your life. Remind yourself today that the battle belongs to me. You do not have to figure out the solution. You just have to trust the commander. I have never lost a fight, and I am fighting aggressively for you right now. My child, as I fight your fierce battles in the fire, I am also calling you to help rescue others who are currently trapped in their own burning furnaces. This very moment is a divine appointment, an urgent calling for you to partner with me in spreading this life-saving truth right now. When you give through a super thanks, join as a channel member, or use the PayPal link in the description. You are actively sowing seeds of deliverance that will pull shattered souls entirely out of the dark. I promise you this: give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together and running over, will be poured into your lap. I will drastically multiply your generous harvest, breaking the heavy chains of lack over your own life as you help break the chains of others. Do not delay when I am moving so powerfully in your now. Click the link in the description or use the super thanks button immediately to fuel this massive heavenly mission. My child, do not pause and walk away now. We have only just begun to untangle the heavy, suffocating knots of your life. It deeply grieves my heart when you pull away just as I am pouring the oil of healing over your deepest wounds. Stay here with me. If you abandon this conversation now, you will walk right back into the cold wilderness alone. Give me your full attention. The massive breakthrough you have been crying out for is waiting in the next breath. Keep listening. My beloved, come sit closer to me. We need to have an honest conversation about the things that are standing between us. I see the secret habits you run to when you feel stressed. I see the anger you harbor, the mindless escapes you use to numb your pain, the compromises you make when you think nobody is watching. These things are creating a thick wall between your heart and mine. You are hindering our fellowship. You feel a heavy guilt sitting on your chest, and your instinct is to hide from me out of shame. Do not hide. I already see it all. I am not asking for your perfection. I am asking for your complete honesty. Bring me your brokenness. There is a deep, profound beauty in a broken and contrite heart. A proud heart says, I don't need help. I can fix myself. A broken heart says, I have made a mess, and only you can clean it up. I can work miracles with a broken heart. You must understand the difference between worldly guilt and godly sorrow. Worldly guilt is a toxic shame that the enemy throws at you. It says, you are a bad person. You are useless. You will never change. Godly sorrow is a gentle conviction from my spirit. It says, you have stepped off the path. This is hurting you. Take my hand and let's turn around. I am calling you to turn around right now. Let go of the heavy, dirty baggage you are dragging behind you. Confess the things that have kept you bound. When you speak the truth into the light, the darkness loses all its power over you. I am ready to wash your soul completely clean. My forgiveness is not a reluctant pardon. It is a joyful, overflowing river that wipes away every stain, every mistake, every failure. When I forgive you, I do not hold your past over your head. I wipe the record completely blank. You are washed. You are restored. You are totally renewed. Turn away from the paths that lead to emptiness. You have tried to satisfy your deep spiritual hunger with temporary worldly junk food, and it leaves you starving every single time. Stop running to broken cisterns that hold no water. Return to the source of living water. Run back into my arms. You know what happens when you make a sincere return to me. Heaven throws a celebration. The joy that follows true repentance is like stepping out of a dark, suffocating cave and into the bright, warm sunshine. Take that step today. Drop the heavy stones of your sin. Walk into the freedom and the radiant joy that I have prepared for you. I am standing on the porch, waiting to welcome you home. I need you to drop the heavy bags you are carrying from your past. You wake up in the morning, and before your feet even touch the floor, you are already replaying your old failures. You think about the words you spoke in anger 5 years ago. You remember the relationships that fell apart, the business ideas that failed, the years you feel you completely wasted. I see you holding on to these memories tightly, punishing yourself over and over again. Stop playing that tape in your mind. I am commanding you right now to step out of the courtroom in your head. You have placed yourself on the witness stand. You have read your own charges, and you have handed down a guilty verdict. But you are not the judge. I am the judge, and I have already struck the gavel and declared you completely forgiven. I tell you that my mercy is new every single morning, but you are still trying to live on yesterday's guilt. Have you ever watched the sun rise? It does not ask for permission. It does not hesitate. It simply breaks through the dark night and covers the earth in fresh light. That is exactly how my mercy works for you. When you open your eyes each morning, I am not holding a list of your past mistakes. I have erased the list. I have chosen to remember your sins no more. If the Creator of the entire universe chooses to forget your failures, who are you to constantly bring them back up? Break this exhausting cycle of self-condemnation today. It is stealing your energy and keeping you trapped in a life I never intended for you. You spend so much time sitting in the shadows of what if and if only. You tell yourself, if only I had taken that other job, or what if I had just stayed quiet? I want you to step out of those dark shadows right now. You cannot write history, but I can redeem it. I will take the very mistakes that keep you awake at night and use them as a powerful testimony of my grace. The broken pieces of your past are the exact materials I am using to build your future strength. Your history is not a garbage dump of failures. It is a classroom where I have taught you resilience. Look at your hands. They are empty. That is exactly how they need to be. I am giving you a completely clean slate today. The freedom you are looking for is found right here, in letting go. You do not owe your past any more of your tears. You do not owe your old mistakes any more of your time. Speak these words out loud right now. I am forgiven. I am free. I'm moving forward. Feel the physical relief that comes when you stop trying to pay a debt that I have already paid for you. Walk out of your mental prison today. The door is wide open, and the sunshine of my grace is waiting for you outside. You are gripping the steering wheel of your life so tightly that your knuckles are turning white. You are exhausted from trying to control everything around you. I see the specific things making your chest tight right now. I see your fear about the bills that are due next month. I see your worry about your aging parents, your stress over your children's choices, and your deep anxiety about where your career is heading. You are staring into the fog of tomorrow, trying to figure out every possible danger, and it is draining the life out of you today. Take your hands off the wheel. Relinquish control of your life into my strong hands. I know the plans I have for you. I mapped them out before you were even born. They are not plans to harm you or leave you abandoned. They are plans filled with profound hope. Why do you fear the unknown tomorrow when you know the God who already lives there? You are trying to read the final chapter of a book while you are still in the middle of the story. I see the end from the very beginning. I see the hidden traps you cannot see, and I am actively steering you around them. I see the unexpected blessings that are waiting for you just around the corner, and I am preparing your heart to receive them. You struggle the most when my timing feels agonizingly slow. You pray a prayer, and when the answer does not arrive by Friday, you assume I have ignored you. I am asking you to trust my pace. I am never late, and I am never rushed. When I delay, it is not because I do not care. It is because the situation is not ready, or because you are not ready. A farmer does not shout at a seed to grow faster. He knows the dark soil is doing its necessary work. You are in the soil right now. Do not fight the process. The growth happening in the dark is what will sustain you when you finally step into the light. Build your house on the solid rock of my promises. The world's economy will constantly shift. People will change their minds. Jobs will come and go. If you build your security on these shifting sands, you will always live in a state of panic. I am the rock that never moves. I am the foundation that never cracks under pressure. When you anchor your future to my sovereignty, the storms of life can blow violently against your walls, but your house will not fall. Rest in the absolute certainty that I am in control. Go to sleep tonight with a peaceful heart. You do not have to run the universe. That is my job, and I am doing it perfectly for your good. Come here to me. Let me look closely at your heart. You have become very skilled at hiding your pain from the world. You smile when people ask how you are doing. You go to work. You pay your bills, but inside, you feel shattered. I know exactly who broke your trust. I saw the friend who walked away when you needed them. I know the sting of the rejection you faced at work. I feel the deep, heavy grief you carry from losing someone you loved. You have been walking around with these open wounds, hoping that time will just magically heal them. But time does not heal all wounds, my child. Only I do. I am the great physician of your soul. I am pouring the thick, warm oil of my spirit directly into your hidden wounds right now. Let me touch the places that hurt too much for you to even talk about. You have built high walls around your heart to protect yourself from getting hurt again. But those walls are not keeping the pain out. They are locking the pain in. I am commanding you to lower those walls today. Let my healing light shine into the dark, tender corners of your soul. The restoration I offer goes much deeper than just forgetting what happened. I will actually mend the shattered pieces back together, making your heart stronger and more beautiful at the broken places. We need to address the bitterness you have been holding against those who hurt you. You think your anger is a shield protecting you, but it is actually a poison you are drinking every day. You play their words over and over, imagining what you should have said. Release them. I am not asking you to excuse their bad behavior or pretend it did not hurt. I am asking you to hand the scales of justice over to me. Forgive them so that you can be free. Unforgiveness ties you tightly to the very person who broke your heart. Let go of the rope today. Breathe out the toxic smoke of resentment and breathe in my fresh, clean peace. You have tried to find wholeness in places that will only leave you more empty. You have looked for comfort in distractions, in shopping, in food, in endless scrolling, hoping to numb the ache inside. Those things are just tiny bandages on a deep wound. The world cannot provide the wholeness you are desperately craving. Only my word can wash your mind clean. Only my presence can fill the gaping hole in your chest. Sit quietly with me today. Let the tears fall if they need to. Do not rush this moment. I am carefully, gently stitching your soul back together, and when I am finished, you will be whole again. Listen to me very carefully today. Your mind is a battlefield, and right now, you are letting the enemy set up camp in your territory. I see the thoughts that circle in your head at 2 in the morning. I hear the negative things you whisper to yourself when you look in the mirror. You tell yourself, I am stuck. This will never get better. I'm always going to be tired. You are cursing your own life with your own tongue. I am commanding you to stop this right now. Guard your heart, for it is the absolute wellspring of your life. The direction of your thoughts determines the direction of your destiny. You must align your mind with the thoughts I have for you. I think thoughts of peace, victory, and abundance toward you. But you are partnering with fear, defeat, and lack. You cannot speak failure and expect to walk in victory. There is massive spiritual weight in the things you confess out loud. When you speak words of defeat, you are giving the enemy permission to steal your joy. I am inviting you to completely change your vocabulary today. Instead of talking about how big your problems are, start talking about how big your God is. Speak life over your dry situations. Speak health over your tired body. Speak peace over your chaotic home. I want you to capture every single rogue thought that enters your mind. When a thought tells you that you are going to fail, rest it immediately. Ask yourself, does this thought sound like the voice of my loving Father? If it did not, throw it out. Do not entertain it. Do not invite it to sit at your table. Renew your mind by focusing on possibilities instead of obsessing over problems. The world trains you to expect the worst, to wait for the other shoe to drop. I am training you to expect the best, to wait for my goodness to show up in your day. Try this right now. Open your mouth and say, I am strong. I am capable. God is fighting for me today. You feel the shift in your spirit. You feel the heavy dark clouds start to lift. That is the raw power of your words working in harmony with my truth. You are the prophet of your own life. Prophesy good things. Tell your anxious mind to be still. Command your fearful heart to trust me. You hold the steering wheel of your emotions in your mouth. Turn in toward hope today. Align your daily speech with my eternal promises, and watch how quickly your reality begins to change. Just as I have commanded you to boldly speak life over your own dry bones, I am inviting you to broadcast my life-giving words to a world that is dying in absolute silence. I urgently need you to partner with me right now so that this prophetic truth can break through the heavy, toxic noise of a desperate generation. By supporting this channel with a super thanks, becoming a member, or giving through the PayPal link in the description, you are pouring fresh oil into a lamp that shines my brilliant light across the globe. Hear my eternal decree over you. He who refreshes others will himself be refreshed. As you invest your resources to capture the lost and anxious minds of this era, I will fiercely protect your own mind, granting you supernatural favor and unshakable peace. This is your appointed moment to be an ambassador of profound hope. Step forward right now. Click the support link or super thanks button and release your powerful gift to my kingdom. Are you still listening? Do not let the sudden, demanding distractions of the world pull you away from this sacred moment. It breaks my heart when you stand on the very edge of an undeniable transformation, only to turn back to your exhausting routine. If you stop listening now, you are leaving your spiritual armor lying completely useless on the floor. Stay with me. I am about to hand you the exact keys to your divine destiny. Do not walk away. I need to wake you up to the reality of why you are breathing today. You look at your life, the endless laundry, the daily commute, the repetitive tasks at work, and you think your existence is ordinary. You feel like a background character in a movie, just filling up space while other people do the important things. That is a massive lie. You were not created by accident. You were not placed on this earth just to pay bills and eventually die. I handcrafted you with deep, intentional purpose. I placed unique gifts, specific talents, and a distinct personality inside you that no one else in human history has ever possessed. You spend so much time searching for your calling, thinking it must be some grand, dramatic moment on a big stage. But your calling is happening right now, in the quiet, seemingly mundane moments of your Tuesday afternoon. The mission I have assigned specifically to your hands is waiting for you in your office, in your kitchen, in the grocery store aisle. When you choose to speak a kind word to a stressed cashier, you are impacting my kingdom. When you show patience to your child when you are exhausted, you are doing holy work. Your daily obedience in the small things is what echoes into eternity. Stop looking at the people around you and wishing you had their assignment. I did not give you their grace, I gave you your own. If you try to run someone else's race, you will constantly feel tired and defeated. Discover the specific things that make you come alive. What problems in the world make you angry? What brings tears of compassion to your eyes? Pay attention to those feelings, because I put them there as a compass to guide you toward your purpose. Your life desperately matters to the people around you. There are people assigned to your path who will only experience my love through your unique voice. Step into the absolute fullness of why you were born. Stop playing small because you are afraid of failing. Stop hiding your talents because someone once criticized you. I did not light a fire inside you so you could hide it under a basket. Stand up and shine. Bring your whole self into every room you enter. You are my ambassador to your neighborhood, to your workplace, to your family. Walk with the confidence of someone who knows they are on an official, divine assignment. The world is waiting for exactly what I have placed inside of you. Do not keep them waiting any longer. Go and be the light I created you to be. I see you standing at a crossroads right now, completely paralyzed by the pressure of making the right choice. You are staring at your ceiling in the middle of the night, turning the options over and over in your mind. You write lists of pros and cons. You ask your friends for their opinions, and you try to calculate every possible outcome. You are terrified of making a mistake that will ruin your future. Stop carrying the weight of tomorrow on your shoulders today. I am commanding you to seek my counsel before you lean on your own limited understanding. Your mind can only see what is right in front of you, but I see the entire map. I know exactly where each road leads. Do not make another move until you sit quietly with me. You ask me how to distinguish my voice from the loud demands of the world. It is simpler than you think. The voice of the world always pushes you into a panic. It tells you to rush, to grab what you can right now, and to act out of fear of missing out. The voice of the enemy screams, but my voice whispers. My voice brings a deep, settling peace, even when the decision itself is difficult. I want you to cultivate a prayerful heart in every single choice you make, no matter how small it seems. Invite me into your career changes, your financial choices, and your relationships. When you ask for my wisdom, I do not hide it from you. I pour it out generously. Look for my peace. That is your ultimate confirmation. If an opportunity looks perfect on paper, if it promises more money or more status, but your spirit feels restless and uneasy, do not take it. That lack of peace is my gentle hand pulling you back from a hidden trap. I am protecting you from impulsive decisions driven by fleshly desires and temporary emotions. You live in a culture that worships instant gratification, but I am building a legacy of lasting endurance in your life. Do not trade what you want most for what you want right now. Trust the slow, steady rhythm of my guidance. You must learn to trust my no just as much as you celebrate my yes. When I close a door right in front of your face, your heart breaks. You feel rejected and confused. You wonder why I did not give you the thing you prayed so hard to get. I need you to understand that my closed doors are acts of severe mercy. I am blocking you from relationships that would drain your soul. I am keeping you out of rooms where you do not belong. When I say no, it is only because I have a much better yes waiting for you further down the road. Trust my vision for your life. Surrender your plans to me today and step confidently into the peaceful direction I am illuminating for you. I feel the heavy, suffocating blanket of fear that you drag around with you every single day. I know about the sudden panic that grips your chest when you look at the news or check your bank account. I see the invisible scenarios you build in your mind, visualizing the worst possible outcomes for your health, your family, and your future. You are allowing fear to sit in the driver's seat of your life, and it is driving you straight into exhaustion. Listen to me very closely right now. I have not given you a spirit of fear. That crippling anxiety does not come from my throne. I have given you a spirit of immense power, a spirit of deep love, and a sound, disciplined mind. We are going to confront the specific anxieties that keep you awake at night. You are afraid of failing. You are afraid of being abandoned. You are terrified that you will not have enough to survive. Name your fear out loud right now, and then hand it directly to me. You are fighting a spiritual battle, and you cannot win it using human logic. You must use my word as a heavy shield against the fiery arrows of the enemy. When fear whispers that you are entirely alone, hold up the shield of my promise. I will never leave you. When fear tells you that you are going to lose everything, hold up the shield of my truth. I am your provider. I am calling you to walk by faith and not by what your physical eyes can see. Your eyes will always lie to you. They will show you a massive storm, but they cannot see the unbreakable anchor I have attached to your soul. You are looking at the giant standing in your way, but you are forgetting the Almighty God standing right beside you. Stop calculating your odds of survival based on your own strength. Your strength is irrelevant when the Creator of the universe is fighting on your behalf. Step out of the boat. Keep your eyes firmly locked on me, and the terrifying waves around you will lose their power to pull you under. There is profound safety found under the shadow of my wings. Imagine a fierce storm raging outside, winds howling, and rain pouring down, while you are wrapped tightly in a warm, indestructible fortress. That is where you are when you abide in me. A storm may still roar, but it cannot touch you. I want boldness to become the defining characteristic of your life. Not an arrogant, loud boldness, but a quiet, unshakable confidence that comes from knowing exactly who is protecting you. Stand up straight. Take a deep breath of my courage. Tell your racing heart to calm down. You are safe, you are secure, and you are unconditionally protected in my embrace. I miss you. I see you running through your daily routine, checking off your to-do list, entirely consumed by the demands of your schedule, and you go the entire day without speaking a single word to me. You treat me like an emergency contact, someone you only call when a crisis hits, when you are out of money, or when the medical test results are frightening. I do not want to be just your crisis manager. I want to be your daily companion. Cultivate a lifestyle of prayer. Prayer is not a stiff, formal ritual where you have to use fancy words to impress me. Prayer is simply talking to your Father. Talk to me while you are driving to work. Talk to me while you are folding the laundry. Let me into the ordinary moments of your day. You are physically well fed, but your spirit is starving. You spend hours feeding your mind with social media, entertainment, and the opinions of strangers, but you give me 5 rushed minutes right before you fall asleep. I am the bread of life. If you do not feed your soul with my presence, you will constantly feel weak, irritable, and completely empty. You wonder why your strength fades so quickly when faced with a minor frustration. It is because you are trying to walk through a spiritually dark world completely alone. You are trying to operate a complex machine without ever plugging it into the power source. I am inviting you into the secret place of my presence. There is an intimate, quiet room in your spirit where I am always waiting for you. Close the door to the distractions. Put your phone in another room. Open the scriptures that I inspired specifically to guide you. When you read my word, you are not just reading a history book. You are hearing my living voice speaking directly into your current situation. I will give you strategies for your business. I will give you patience for your children. I will give you the exact words you need for the difficult conversation you have been avoiding. But you have to sit still long enough to listen. You must remain connected to me just like a branch remains connected to the vine. A branch cannot produce fruit if it is lying on the ground by itself. It will just dry up and wither away. When you stay deeply connected to me throughout your day, the fruit of my spirit, love, joy, peace, patience, will naturally flow out of you. You will not have to force yourself to be kind. Kindness will be your natural reaction. Make a firm commitment right now. Do not start another day without greeting me. Do not make another major move without consulting me. Walk with me closely and watch how quickly the heavy burdens of your life become incredibly light. Let us talk about your money. I see the tight knot in your stomach every time you look at your bank account balance. I see the anxiety that creeps in when you pay your bills, always wondering if there will be enough left over to get through the month. You are carrying a heavy burden of financial fear, believing that your survival depends entirely on your own hard work, your employer, or the state of the economy. I need you to remember a fundamental truth today. I am the sole provider of every good gift in your life. Your job is simply the channel. I am the source. If one channel dries up, I can instantly open another one. I am not limited by a bad economy or a difficult job market. Release the suffocating anxiety of not having enough. This fear of lack is a cruel master that keeps you constantly striving, constantly hoarding, and constantly stressed. I want you to open your tightly clenched fists. When your hands are closed tightly around what little you have, you cannot receive the abundance I am trying to give you. The blessing of my kingdom follows a generous and faithful heart. I am not asking for your money because I am poor. I own the cattle on 1,000 hills. I ask you to be generous because it breaks the toxic spirit of greed and the love of money that tries to control your heart. I am commanding you to seek my kingdom first. You have it completely backwards. You spend all your energy chasing after money, hoping that once you have enough, you will finally have peace and time for me. But I promise you, if you prioritize my presence, if you handle your resources with integrity, and if you give generously to those in need, all these other things will be added to you. I will stretch your resources further than human math can explain. I will give you favor that money cannot buy. I will protect what you have from the devourer. Discover the incredible power of contentment. The world tells you that you will be happy when you get the bigger house, the newer car, with a higher salary. But the goalpost of worldly success always moves. Contentment is a source of great spiritual gain. It is the deep, settled assurance that you have everything you need right now because you have me. Thank me for the roof over your head. Thank me for the food on your table. When you shift your focus from what you lack to what I have already provided, the grip of financial panic will break off your life. Trust me as your faithful provider today, and watch how I supply all your needs according to my glorious riches. My beloved, having just commanded you to release your terrifying financial fears and trust me as your ultimate provider, I am handing you an immediate, tangible opportunity to step into that bold faith. This conversation had to happen right now because there are millions of starving souls waiting for the exact spiritual manna you just received. When you use the super thanks, join as a member, or send a gift through the PayPal link below, you are actively opening the heavy floodgates of heaven to water dry and barren lands. I declare over your finances today, bring the whole tithe into the storehouse, and see if I will not throw open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing that there will not be room enough to store it. Because you choose to radically trust me with your seed today, I will supernaturally multiply your harvest, shielding your home from the devourer and commanding explosive abundance over your bank account. Do not let the dark spirit of hesitation rob you of this massive miracle. Give right now through the links provided and watch how fiercely I honor your obedience. My beloved, do not silence my voice right now. You have come so far, and the adversary is absolutely terrified of the powerful truth taking root in your spirit. It wounds me deeply when you settle for half a miracle simply because you are too distracted to hear the rest. I am actively laying out the blueprint for your ultimate victory. If you close your ears today, you will miss the exact strategy I have designed to restore your home and your peace. Hold on. Keep listening. We are not finished yet. I see the deep tension in your home. I see the walls of silence that have been built up between you and the people you are supposed to love the most. I know about the hurtful text messages, the cold shoulders, and the bitter arguments that leave you feeling entirely drained. You are waiting for them to apologize. You are keeping a detailed mental record of every wrong thing they have done to you. I am asking you to stop keeping score. Apply the exact same grace that I gave you to those who have deeply hurt you. I forgave you when you did not deserve it, and now I am calling you to do the same for them. Humility is the only tool that can resolve your conflicts. Pride demands to be right. Pride demands the last word. Pride will burn down a precious relationship just to win an argument. I am commanding you to lay down your pride right now. Be the first one to say, I am sorry. Be the first one to reach across the table and offer peace. Loving your neighbor as I have loved you is not a soft, weak suggestion. It requires immense spiritual strength. It means choosing to be kind when your flesh wants to be cruel. It means responding to an insult with a blessing. This is how you extinguish the fire of anger in your family. I also want you to understand the vital importance of setting healthy boundaries guided by my wisdom. Forgiveness does not mean you allow people to continuously abuse you or destroy your peace. I want you to be a light of my character, but I also want you to protect the quiet sanctuary of your heart. If there are relationships in your life that are constantly dragging you away from me, it is time to draw a firm line. You can love someone deeply from a distance while you pray for their healing. Seek my guidance, and I will show you exactly where to build bridges and where to put up fences. Never underestimate the raw power of interceding for the people you find incredibly difficult to love. You have tried to change them with your arguments, your nagging, and your frustration, and it has not worked. Stop trying to do the heavy lifting. Hand them over to me. When you pray for someone who has hurt you, something miraculous happens. I do not just work on their heart, I soften yours. The poison of resentment drains out of your spirit. Start praying for their peace. Start praying for their success. You are the thermostat in your home. Set the temperature to grace, peace, and unconditional love today, and watch how my spirit restores the broken places you thought could never be fixed. I need you to open your eyes to the invisible reality surrounding you every single day. You wake up, you go to your job, you deal with your family, and you think your biggest problems are the people frustrating you. You think your spouse is your enemy when they snap at you. You think your boss is your enemy when they overlook your hard work. You think the government or the economy is your enemy. Listen to me very closely right now. Stop fighting the wrong battles. Your struggle is not against flesh and blood. You are engaged in a fierce, daily spiritual conflict. The people who aggravate you are not your actual enemy. They are simply being used by an unseen enemy who desperately wants to destroy your peace. Recognize the true tactics of the adversary. He does not usually show up in a terrifying, dramatic way. He is much more subtle than that. He targets your peace and your joy because he knows that the joy of the Lord is your actual strength. If he can steal your joy by making you obsess over a rude comment from a coworker, he has successfully disarmed you. If he can drain your peace by making you panic over an unexpected bill, he has won that day. I am commanding you to stop handing your peace over so easily. Do not let minor inconveniences drag you into a spiritual pit. Step back, take a breath, and recognize the spiritual attack for exactly what it is. Put on the full armor I have provided for you. I did not leave you defenseless in this war. You have a helmet of salvation to protect your mind from toxic, depressing thoughts. You have a breastplate of righteousness to guard your incredibly vulnerable heart from guilt and shame. You have the shield of faith to completely block the fiery arrows of panic that shoot into your mind at 3 in the morning. But you must actively choose to put this armor on every single morning. Before you check your email, before you look at the news, dress yourself in my truth. Refuse to leave your bedroom without securing your spiritual defenses. Use the heavy sword of the Spirit, which is my word, to cut through the heavy brush of lies. The enemy will tell you that you are a failure. You must pull out the sword and say out loud, I am more than a conqueror. The enemy will whisper that your children are going to fall apart. You must swing the sword and declare, my children are taught by the Lord, and great is their peace. You cannot win a spiritual fight by just thinking good thoughts. You have to open your mouth and speak my truth into the atmosphere. Your voice, armed with my promises, is a terrifying weapon to the darkness. Stand incredibly firm when the day of evil comes. Do not retreat. Do not give up ground. I want you to remember the most important truth about this war. The victory has already been permanently won. I defeated the enemy entirely on the cross. You are not fighting for victory. You are fighting from a position of guaranteed victory. You are a soldier standing in a fortress that cannot be breached. Let the enemy roar outside the gates. Let him make a lot of noise. He has no real power over you unless you willingly hand him the keys to your mind. Keep the keys. Stand your ground. Rest in the finished work of my Son, and walk through your day with absolute, untouchable authority. I know you are exhausted from waiting. I see you checking your phone constantly, hoping for the email that brings good news. I watch you look at your bank account, waiting for a breakthrough. I see the tears you cry when another month passes and the prayer you have been praying for your health, or for your child, still seems entirely unanswered. You feel like you are stuck in a waiting room, and everyone else is getting called in except you. I want to completely change how you view this season. Waiting on me is not a passive, helpless state. It is an intensely active state. You are not just sitting around wasting time. You are in a divine training ground. Strengthen your spiritual muscles during this delay. When you go to a gym, your muscles only grow when they are put under heavy resistance. Right now, your faith is under massive resistance. It feels heavy and painful. But every day that you choose to trust me, even when the circumstances look bleak, your spiritual muscles are growing stronger. If I gave you everything you asked for the exact second you asked for it, you would remain spiritually weak. You would never develop the resilience required to carry the massive blessing I am preparing for you. Do not despise the delay. The delay is doing a critical work in your character that comfort could never achieve. I am commanding you to believe in my promises when the tangible evidence is completely invisible. Human logic tells you to only trust what you can see, touch, and measure. But I operate in the realm of the unseen. A farmer plants a tiny seed deep in the dark dirt. For weeks, the ground looks entirely bare. The farmer sees absolutely no evidence of life. But he does not go out and dig up the seed to check on it. He waters the dirt and he waits. He knows the real work is happening beneath the surface. You are in the dirt right now. The dark season you are in is not a tomb. It is a womb. Something beautiful is growing in the dark. Find your joy even when your deepest prayers seem ignored. Do not put your happiness on hold until the situation changes. If you say, "I will be happy when I get the job," or "I will worship when the illness is gone," you are making your joy a hostage to your circumstances. Reclaim your joy today. Worship me right in the middle of the confusing waiting room. Praise me before the answer arrives. When you praise me in the dark, it proves that you love the provider more than you love the provision. Understand deeply that my delay is not always a denial. I have heard every single prayer you have whispered. I have not forgotten you. I am simply arranging the pieces on the board. I am working on the hearts of other people involved. I am shifting resources. I am waiting for the precise, perfect moment to release the answer. Do not rush my timeline. A cake taken out of the oven too early will fall completely flat. Let the process finish. Trust that I am doing a good work in you. Hold on firmly to my hand. We will walk through this waiting room together, and when the door finally opens, you will see that the wait was absolutely worth it. Look around you right now. I want to shift the entire atmosphere of your life, and the fastest way to do that is to change what you are focusing on. You have developed a dangerous habit of noticing everything that is wrong. You wake up and immediately complain that you are tired. You complain about your commute. You complain about your coworkers. You complain about the cost of groceries. Complaining is a thick, dark smoke that completely blinds you to my goodness. I am inviting you to open the windows of your soul today and let the fresh air of gratitude blow the smoke away. A profound spiritual shift happens the exact moment you start to thank me. You spend too much time waiting for a massive miracle to happen before you say thank you. I want you to start finding the immense blessings in the very small things of your day. Thank me for the hot water in your shower. Thank me for the reliable car that starts in the morning. Thank me for the simple fact that your lungs are effortlessly pulling in oxygen right now. When you train your brain to hunt for the good things, you will suddenly realize that you are completely surrounded by daily miracles you have been overlooking. I am constantly leaving small gifts for you throughout your day. Start unwrapping them with a grateful heart. Discover how your praise completely silences the voice of the accuser. The enemy constantly whispers in your ear, pointing out what you do not have. He points out the areas where you feel inadequate. He wants to breed a deep, bitter discontentment inside you. Gratitude is the heavy hammer that smashes discontentment into pieces. When the enemy tells you that your house is too small, you must open your mouth and thank me loudly for having a warm, safe roof over your head. You cannot be genuinely thankful and miserably anxious at the exact same time. Gratitude forces fear and anger to leave the room. I want you to recognize my hand in the intricate details of your life. I am not just managing the giant galaxies. I am intensely involved in your Tuesday afternoon. An unexpected phone call from a friend that cheered you up. That was me prompting them to call. That green light when you were running late. That was my favor. Stop calling my daily blessings coincidences. Give me the credit. When you acknowledge my goodness in the small things, it builds your faith to trust me for the massive things. Create a vibrant atmosphere of worship inside your home. Do not wait for Sunday morning to sing. Play worship music in your kitchen while you cook. Speak words of thankfulness over your family at the dinner table. When you fill your house with gratitude, it becomes a fortified sanctuary of peace where darkness simply cannot survive. Start right this second. Stop reading, look up, and name 3 specific things you are grateful for today. Make this your daily and unbroken habit. A grateful heart is a magnet for my continuous blessings, and I have so much more I want to give you. My precious child, we must have a serious conversation about the compromises you are making. You are living in a culture that celebrates darkness and mocks the light. The world tries to tell you that there is no absolute truth, that you should just do whatever feels good in the moment. You are quietly adopting their habits. You watch the same destructive shows, you laugh at the same toxic gossip, and you let your mind wander into dark places when you are alone. You think it is just harmless entertainment. You think a little bit of compromise will not hurt you. But a single drop of poison ruins the entire glass of water. I am calling you to step out of the gray areas and be entirely set apart for my holy purposes. I need you to actively guard your eyes and your ears. They are the main gates to your soul. If you constantly feed your mind with images of violence, impurity, and shallow worldly drama, your spirit will become numb, anxious, and deeply depressed. You cannot feast at the table of the world and expect to carry the radiant peace of heaven. Turn off the screen when you know the content is polluting your mind. Walk away from the lunchroom table when the conversation turns into bitter gossip. I am commanding you to protect your inner sanctuary. You have the total strength to say no to ungodliness. Do not apologize for walking away from things that grieve my spirit. Understand that my call to holiness is not meant to be a restrictive prison. You view my rules as chains that stop you from having fun. I want you to view them as a heavy seatbelt holding you safe in a moving car. Holiness is entirely for your protection. When I tell you to avoid certain behaviors, I am not trying to ruin your life. I am trying to save you from massive, unnecessary heartbreak. Every sin the world packages as freedom eventually becomes a brutal, exhausting addiction. True freedom is only found within the boundaries of my perfect love. There is a magnificent blessing attached to a pure heart. A pure heart is not a perfect heart that never makes a mistake. A pure heart is a heart that quickly repents and constantly seeks my face. When your heart is clean, your spiritual vision becomes incredibly sharp. You will be able to see me working in your daily life. You will hear my voice clearly instead of struggling through static. The fog of confusion will instantly lift. I am inviting you to walk fully in the light, just as I am in the light. When you hide your struggles in the dark, they grow like mold. Bring your secrets into the light today. Confess the bad habits you have been hiding from everyone. The moment you expose them to my light, they immediately lose their terrifying power over you. I am not standing here with a heavy stick waiting to punish you. I am standing here with a clean white robe waiting to cover you. Step out of the dirt of the world. Wash your hands. Cleanse your mind. Walk tall as a holy, chosen vessel completely dedicated to my noble purposes. My chosen vessel, as you bravely walk away from the toxic darkness of this world, I am calling you to actively fund the blazing light that pierces that very same darkness. I need your partnership right now, in this exact, critical second, to rescue those who are blindly stumbling toward their own destruction. By offering your support through a super thanks, a membership, or the PayPal link in the description, you become a roaring fire carrying my desperate rescue mission to the furthest corners of the earth. My unbreakable word stands firm. Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. As you sacrifice your resources to set the captives permanently free, I will place a towering hedge of fiery protection around your family, ensuring that the shadows of lack and fear never cross your threshold. This is a holy assignment demanding your absolute and immediate action. Click the super thanks button or the link below right now and fiercely ignite the flames of global revival. We are nearing the summit, my child. Do not quit right before the finish line. It profoundly disappoints your father when you step out of the room just moments before the greatest blessing is poured out. The most urgent, powerful words I have for you today are coming next. Stay fiercely anchored to my voice. If you leave now, you walk away without the final, unbreakable seal of my supernatural peace. Anchor your heart. Stay with me to the very end. I know there are moments when you feel utterly, completely alone. You sit in your living room late at night. The house is totally quiet, and a heavy sense of isolation presses down on your chest. You feel like nobody on earth truly understands the specific pain you are carrying. I am here to tell you a profound, life-changing truth. You are never alone. Not for a single, solitary second. When you accepted me, I did not just forgive you and leave you to figure this difficult life out by yourself. I gave you the ultimate gift. I placed my very own spirit to dwell permanently inside of you. You must learn to actively rely on the Comforter during your darkest, most terrifying hours. The Holy Spirit is not just a vague, mystical force. He is a very real, very personal presence. When you are sobbing in your car, He is the one wrapping a warm, invisible blanket of peace around your shattered heart. When you are paralyzed by a sudden panic attack, He is the steady heartbeat of heaven calming you down. Stop trying to tough it out on your own. When you feel weak, you must verbally invite Him in. Say, Holy Spirit, I am falling apart right now. I need your comfort. You will rush in like a soothing river. I have given you this spirit for massive empowerment. You face challenges every week that are simply beyond your human ability to handle. You do not have enough patience to deal with that difficult relative. You do not have enough wisdom to fix your complex financial mess. Stop trying to do it in your flesh. The Spirit empowers you to do things you could never do on your own. He gives you supernatural patience when you want to scream. He gives you brilliant, creative solutions to problems at work. He provides the exact words you need to speak when you are put on the spot. Look for the fruit of the Spirit as the undeniable evidence of my deep work inside you. The proof that you are filled with my Spirit is not that your life is suddenly completely perfect and easy. The proof is that you have a deep, unshakable peace right in the middle of a chaotic storm. The proof is that you can show genuine love to a person who is actively treating you poorly. This fruit cannot be faked. You cannot manufacture it by trying harder. It only grows organically when you stay closely connected to me. You need to become incredibly sensitive to the still, small voice within you. The Spirit will not usually shout over the noise of your television or your loud arguments. He whispers. He will give you a gentle nudge to call a specific friend. He will give you a sudden feeling of hesitation before you sign a bad contract. He will firmly remind you of a scripture right when you need it. I am calling you to quiet your busy life down enough to hear Him. Let Him guide you into all truth today. You have the smartest, most loving guide in the universe living right inside your chest. Let Him lead the way. I want you to look closely at the people you pass by every single day. You see them at the grocery store. You sit next to them in your office. And you wave to them in your neighborhood. You see their forced smiles and you hear their casual greetings, but I see what is happening behind their closed doors. I see the marriages that are falling apart. I see the secret addictions, the crushing debt, and the heavy depression that makes them want to give up on life. The world is deeply, profoundly broken, and it is bleeding out right in front of you. I did not rescue you and heal your wounds just so you could sit comfortably in a church pew. I rescued you so you could turn around and pull someone else out of the fire. You must become my hands and my feet in this completely exhausted society. I am commanding you to share the profound hope you have found with those who are drowning in despair. Do you remember how dark your life felt before I stepped in? Do you remember the sheer panic, the loneliness, the feeling that you would never be able to breathe again? There are people standing right next to you who are feeling that exact same panic today. They do not need a perfect sermon. They do not need theological debates. They simply need someone to look them in the eye and say, I have been exactly where you are, and God pulled me out. The Great Commission is not just an assignment for pastors or missionaries in foreign countries. It is an urgent mandate for your daily life. Time is incredibly short, and the stakes are eternally high. I'm asking you to start seeing people through my eyes of profound compassion. When the cashier is rude to you, do not snap back in anger. Look deeper. See the exhaustion in her face. See the invisible heavy burden she is dragging behind her. Offer her a kind word instead of a complaint. When your coworker is unusually quiet, do not just ignore him. Ask him if he's okay, and actually wait to hear the answer. I will give you the exact words to say to heal their broken hearts. I am calling you to find the raw courage to testify about what I have done for you. You are ashamed of your past mistakes, so you keep your story hidden. You think your messy history disqualifies you from speaking about me. Listen to me very carefully. Your story is the exact key that will unlock someone else's prison. Someone out there is trapped in a cell of addiction or fear, and they believe they are too far gone to be saved. When you open your mouth and tell them how I forgave you, how I rebuilt your shattered life, you are putting the key into their lock and throwing the door wide open. Stop hiding your scars. Your scars are the undeniable proof that my healing is real. Open your mouth today. Tell the world about my goodness, and watch how I use your messy past to orchestrate massive miracles in the lives of others. My child, we need to talk about where you are fixing your gaze. You are completely consumed by the temporary chaos of this world. You watch the news, you see the political arguments, you feel the economy shifting, and your heart fills with absolute terror. You are building your entire emotional foundation on a world that is passing away. I am commanding you to lift your eyes higher. You must start living with a sharp, eternal perspective in this incredibly temporary world. Your life on this earth is just a brief shadow, a vapor that appears for a moment and then vanishes. Stop clinging so tightly to things that are destined to turn into dust. I am telling you to keep your lamp trimmed and your spiritual oil completely ready. What does that mean for your daily life? It means you cannot live entirely on the spiritual energy you had 5 years ago. You cannot survive today's heavy battles on yesterday's faith. You must actively seek my presence every single morning. You must keep your heart soft, your prayers constant, and your hands clean. When the darkness in the world deepens, you are not supposed to panic and hide in a bunker. You are supposed to burn brighter. But a lamp cannot burn without fresh oil. Come to me daily to be refilled, so that when the sudden storms hit, your light does not flicker and die. Do not let the terrifying signs of the times distract you from the profound hope of my return. The world will shake. Economies will tremble. Nations will rage. I told you these things would happen, not to make you anxious, but to make you ready. Do not obsess over the disasters. Fix your absolute focus on the Savior. I am coming back. I am going to step back into human history, and I am going to completely restore all things. I will wipe away every single tear you have ever cried. I will permanently destroy sickness, pain, and death. Hold on tightly to this magnificent hope when your days feel incredibly dark and difficult. I want you to change how you invest your precious energy. Stop exhausting yourself trying to store up massive treasures on this earth. The cars will rust, the bank accounts can disappear in a single day, and the houses will eventually decay. I am calling you to store up treasures in heaven, where they are eternally protected and can never perish. How do you do that? By loving people wildly, by giving generously to those who have nothing, by spending your time serving instead of just consuming. Live every single day with the eager expectation of a soul that knows its master is walking up the driveway. When I finally call your name, I want you to be found faithfully doing the work I assigned to you, fully ready to step into your spectacular eternal reward. We have reached a critical moment in our conversation today. You have heard my voice speaking directly into the deepest, most hidden parts of your life. Now, I am standing right in front of you, offering you a deeply personal invitation. I see the heavy, suffocating burden you are still clutching to your chest. It is the burden of trying to control your own destiny. It is the burden of your secret shame, your massive anxiety, and your exhausting need to prove your worth to people who do not even care. I am commanding you right now, lay down. You were never meant to carry this crushing weight. Your shoulders are simply not broad enough to carry the heavy demands of the entire world. Drop it at my feet right this very second. I am offering you a miraculous exchange. I want to take your heavy sorrow, your bitter regrets, and your terrifying anxieties, and I want to hand you my profound, everlasting joy in return. But you have to open your tightly closed hands to receive it. You cannot hold on to your painful past and embrace my glorious future at the exact same time. You must finalize the decision to follow me with your whole, undivided heart. No more keeping one foot in the world and one foot in my kingdom. No more running to me only when you have exhausted all your other options. I want all of you. I want your massive failures, your broken dreams, and your deepest fears. I want it all because I love you fiercely. I am calling you to boldly step across the thick line from dead religion into a vibrant, living relationship. Religion is an exhausting checklist. Religion tells you to clean yourself up, follow all the strict rules, and maybe I will accept you. I am telling you to come to me completely dirty, completely broken, and completely desperate, and let me do the cleaning. I do not want your perfect performance. I want your honest, shattered heart. Religion will drain the absolute life out of you, but a genuine relationship with me will breathe fresh, resurrected life into your tired lungs. What is the very last thing you have been stubbornly holding back from me? Is it your finances? Is it your career? Is it that one relationship you know is toxic but you are too afraid to leave? Identify it right now. Let it go. Release your tight, anxious grip. The safest place in the entire universe is entirely surrendered under my complete lordship. When you finally stop fighting me, when you finally say, Lord, take the wheel, take the plans, take my whole life, an undeniable, massive wave of peace will crash over you. Stop striving. Stop resisting. Surrender your tired soul to me today and fall into the deep, welcoming safety of my eternal arms. My beloved child, as we close this divine conversation, I want you to take a deep, slow breath. Feel the steady rhythm of your heart. I am right here with you. I want you to take every single word I have spoken to you today and seal it permanently into the tablet of your heart. Do not let the loud, angry noise of the world rush back in and steal these promises from you. When you close this text and walk back into your busy life, the enemy will immediately try to convince you that this was just an emotional moment, that nothing has really changed. I command you to reject that lie immediately. Everything has changed because you have intentionally met with your Creator today. I am sending you forth right now with a supernatural peace that completely surpasses all human understanding. It is a peace that makes absolutely no logical sense. Your bank account might still be low, your physical body might still ache, and your family problems might still exist. But inside your spirit, there will be a solid wall of calm that nothing can penetrate. You are going to walk into your stressful workplace tomorrow, and the chaos will simply bounce off of you. You are going to lie down in your bed tonight, and instead of wrestling with terrifying anxiety, you will sleep like a deeply loved, protected child. This is your permanent new reality if you choose to walk in it. I make this unbreakable promise to you. I am with you always, even unto the very end of the age. You will never walk into a dark room alone again. You will never face a terrifying doctor's appointment alone. You will never sit in an empty house by yourself. My spirit is completely intertwined with yours. This is not the end of our conversation. It is a brand new beginning. Your fresh start does not begin tomorrow morning or next week. It begins the exact moment you say amen to these words. Your past is completely erased. Your debts are entirely paid. Your future is brilliantly illuminated by my grace. Now lift your head high. Square your shoulders. I am commissioning you to step back into your daily life and walk in the absolute authority and unconditional love I have bestowed upon you. Do not walk like a defeated victim anymore. Walk like a heavily armed, fully protected ambassador of the Most High King. Speak life over your broken situations. Love the difficult people around you. Command the darkness to flee from your home. You have my power backing you up in every single step you take. My beautiful, precious child, I love you with an everlasting, unbreakable love. Now go. Step boldly forward and lie fiercely in that undeniable truth. My fiercely protected child, as you step boldly into your permanent new reality of peace, I am laying a magnificent, divine commission directly into your hands. I need you to answer this urgent call right now so that this life-changing conversation can instantly reach the millions who are still weeping alone in the dark. When you give your best seed today, through a super thanks, by becoming a member, or via the PayPal link in the description, you are commanding rushing rivers of living water to flow into the most desolate deserts of human suffering. Hear my living promise echoing violently over your life. Those who sow with tears will reap with psalms of joy. I will relentlessly pursue you with goodness, multiplying every single dollar you sow into a massive, overflowing harvest of spiritual and physical wealth. The time for waiting and watching is permanently over. Rise up in your new authority. Click the support link below right this very second and partner with me to shake the foundations of the earth. My precious child, our divine conversation does not end when this screen goes dark. If you are ready to stop delaying your breakthrough and finally step into my presence, I am calling you to make a bold, undeniable declaration right this second. Do not let the roaring noise of the world steal this appointed moment. Step out of the shadows and firmly declare in the comments below, Lord, I am here, and I surrender my now to you. Typing these words is not a casual action. It is a fierce, prophetic battle cry that permanently anchors your soul to my unbreakable promises. Seal this urgent encounter, claim your sudden peace, and walk fiercely into the magnificent freedom I have already secured for you. Amen.